Alrighty. And welcome in, Gyms and Gymettes, to another exciting episode of No Substitute for Sports. Welcome into episode number 5 on the docket. Don't touch those dials. You're not seeing double. You're not seeing triple. Yeah, we got a very special, exciting episode. Oh, yeah, it's the Super Bowl time. We're going through everything. We got props. We got parlays. We got MVP flyers, everything else with a P personification is key here. Oh my God, my name is Nick Johnson. We're very excited, like I said. Let me shoot it over to Mike. How you doing really quick?
I'm great. Always
Awesome.
great to be here.
We'll be shooting, like I said, going Super Bowl heavy. We got a little Aaron Rodgers for you. And of course,
Yeah.
like usual, ending with some wrestling. We got some NBA and baseball in between. And our special friend over here. Hey, haven't seen you in a bit. It's Wild Bill. I know, like I said, this isn't a throwback episode of the Degenerates podcast. It's Bill. Wild Bill, how are you?
We're doing fucking good. It's great to be back on here. I'm not gonna lie, I miss doing this shit. So whenever I got some free time, I'm definitely gonna fucking hop on, talk some sports, especially with that punk ass Aaron Rodgers. He's fucking calling it quits. He had 4 days solitude in his fucking hotel room, deep in his thoughts, listening to Drake or whatever the fuck he was doing. He's done. He's checked out.
Yeah,
he already signed the contract. He's going back to fucking Jeopardy.
You know who else is doing 4-day isolations? Jared Leto. I don't know if that's good company to be in, Aaron Rodgers. So, all right. I know Bill's.
I have nothing to say right now.
We'll get into that later. Like I said, I know Bill's on a time crunch. He's got some league play games to get into. So, I mean, we'll be getting into a little bit of everything here and there. We'll preview a little bit after. But like I said, let's just hop right into it. Super Bowl, everything and preview it. Your predictions, our parlays, everything else. Bill, go ahead. Start us off here, guy. I know, like I said, just give us.
I'll start it off. I'll run through everything. I got like 5-10 minutes here. First off, I'm gonna say Kelsey Bowl. I hope the mom does the fucking coin toss. I don't care who wins the game. I want to see the Kelsey brothers at midfield with a fucking coin the size of my head. I want to see the mom flip it because that's just a great story there. If you don't fucking, that's, one of those sweet moments. If you don't feel nothing when you see that shit, you don't got a fucking heart. So, me personally, I'm rooting. I'm not rooting. I'm going for the Chiefs in this one. I'm taking the Chiefs to win it. I think this is going to be the beginning of the Mahomes dynasty, and that's no hate towards the Eagles fans. But we saw Brady, he's done. Looks like Rodgers might be done. I don't know. I think this is it's just Patrick Mahomes' time to pick up that torch as the go-to, the face of the NFL, and he's going to start his fucking dynasty. So, can you guys still see me? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I'm pulling up something right now. Okay, cool. So I'm taking the Chiefs this one. I know Chiefs are underdogs. When's the last time you saw Patrick Mahomes as a fucking underdog? Never, I don't think. So
yeah, probably
I know
Super Bowl.
Yeah, honestly, ever since that. So it's just seeing the Chiefs, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes as an underdog. I think they're definitely getting a little disrespected. And I know they're banged up. I know L'Jarius Sneed's banged up. Patrick Mahomes, who the fuck knows with his knee, ankle, whatever the fuck it is. I just can't root. I can't pick against the Chiefs. So I'm taking the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. I mean, like, I guess the question is, do you know, or do you trust Jalen Hurts when it comes to nut crunching time? Do you think he's been challenged enough, or are they just going to run it and blast it down their throat? I don't know. I feel like a square, and that when what I've been thinking, I've been trying to rely on just as many stats as I hear, like, oh, they're wearing the white jerseys, so they're 15-3 when they wear the white jerseys. So for every a good hardcore, exactly, for every hardcore stat that I see, I also see one of those BS ones where I'm just like, I don't know. Those are also fun things to do, but
the one that I really like. Holy shit, I didn't know this. What was it? The last 13 Super Bowls, whoever lost the coin toss ended up winning the game something like that. So.
That's a quick live bet. That's a nice live
bet. Exactly. It happened the last 13 Super Bowls. So I'm taking all that shit out. I'm taking the Chiefs. But I will say one fucking thing. If any of these fucking idiot Chiefs fans decide to fuck with that Rocky statue,
Oh yeah.
I'm flipping to the fucking Eagles. I don't want to see no Indian feathers. I don't want to see no arrowheads. I don't want to see no white man scalps anywhere near that fucking statue. It's bad fucking luck. Don't fuck with the juju. I think if the Chiefs fans, Chiefs Kingdom, Red Kingdom, whatever they fucking call themselves, if they leave that fucking Rocky statue alone, they'll take it. But if I see something on Twitter or the Instagram or somewhere on the internet that someone put a fucking shirt or a towel or something around that thing, I'm immediately doing a 180 and taking the fucking Eagles because you don't fuck with Rocky.
Yeah, the Rocky curse actually has been real as of late. I know the Giants, they did that for them, the Vikings, and everybody else in between. So yeah, not a good look. Not a good.
Niners
not a good
put a
one.
Yeah, the Niners put a fucking shirt on them, and look what happened to them. They were playing with their fucking XFL quarterback towards the end of the game. So, real quick, I'm just going to get into my bets because I only got a couple minutes here. Obviously, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs money line as underdogs. Got a little plus money there. But my big bet, I'm taking Mahomes to win the MVP. I feel like if the Chiefs do win this game, it's going to be because of Patrick Mahomes.
What were you able to get him at, like plus 125?
I think I got him at plus 135.
Okay,
so,
that's pretty good.
Not bad odds right there. The other one, first touchdown score, which I hit on last year with OBJ. Thank you. He fucking before he punched some chick on the airplane or got shit on. Whatever he did, I forgot. I'm taking Kelsey. I'm going to take Travis Kelsey. It's the Kelsey Bowl. I got it at plus 700 to score the first touchdown. So I really like that one. As you can tell by a lot of my bets, they're really going towards the Chiefs. Also took Travis Kelsey to score 2 touchdowns. That was plus 600. I actually took an exact score, too. I'm going to take 31-27. Chiefs win it, plus 13,000. I got a nice fucking 12-leg same game parlay. I'm not going to read all of them to you, but Kelsey to score a touchdown. Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown. Over on both the quarterbacks, passing yards, and a bunch of other receiving yards. That's really it for the game. But I got 3 other ones that I want to say. Over on Chris Stapleton for the national anthem. 2 minutes and 2 seconds. He's a country singer. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. That dude takes his fucking time. So if fucking Adam Levine or whoever sang it last year went over, I'm taking fucking over 2 minutes and 2 seconds for the country star. That's all country guys do is drag everything out. So I'm taking that. I'm taking the orange Gatorade. I think I got that at plus. I think that was the favorite, but it was plus 400, plus 450. It was orange the last time the Chiefs won it. So I'm going to take the orange Gatorade. Okay. And then the last one, I got a little bit of fucking juice on. Halftime show. First song, Please Don't Stop the Music. Rihanna's gonna come out.
Did you really? Is that real? Can you bet on that?
Oh yeah. I bet on it. I got it at plus. I think it was plus 750. Please Don't Stop the Music. I think Umbrella, Stay, and some other song were the top 3, and then I got Please Don't Stop the Music.
I would stay clear of Umbrella. I though she'll probably play it, but I don't think that's a good starter song. That's not a good intro song.
I think that's an ending song.
That's an ending song, right? Yeah, that's definitely in between or towards the end. I think we got a good idea right there. Yeah, you're onto something.
Upbeat. Yeah, you got to start it with an upbeat banger, a catchy song that everybody knows.
Oh, that'll get everyone dancing.
Last year, da-da-da-da-da, it's the motherfucking D-O-double-G. Everyone knows that song. My grandma knows that song. So you got to start it off with a banger. Please Don't Stop the Music, Orange Gatorade, and Over on the national anthem. Those are my 3 little fun little prop bets that I got.
There you go. I mean, if you're leaning towards a correct score like that, you might as well double down and take the over. I mean, I think it's right around 50, 51 right now. So go ahead and hit you with that. I mean, yeah, I think you kind of hammer some pretty good ones out there. I'll maybe throw one your way just while you're right here right now. If you're hammering so hard on the Chiefs, how do you like Isaiah Pacheco? Do you think he's gonna? I think he's hovering like 14.5 receiving yards, around 50 rushing yards. I think he's just a little bit more than plus money, like plus 130 to maybe score.
I know. I'd like to take his over on his total yards. I don't know what that is at, but I know last week he had the receiving touchdown, had a couple rushing, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, had the receiving touchdown. Yeah. But ever since the Eagles added Ndamukong Suh and who was the other guy they added to the interior of the offensive line, the run game has gotten a little bit better. Yeah. So I expect the Chiefs to throw the ball. I imagine his total yards is probably around like 65, 70.
Yeah, I think it is.
I would take his over on his total yards for sure.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I like that. And I'll give you another one because if you're already just kind of dangling off yours, if you're going with Kelsey first touchdown, maybe look at one of those where it's like, oh, jersey number over under first score. I've seen those where it's plus money. It's lingering right around 11.5 because all the running backs for the Philadelphia Eagles are right around that number. Like Kenneth Gainwell's 14, Boston Scott's like 35, but Jalen Hurts and everybody else. So it's I don't know. I think that would be a pretty good one, depending on what number you got on that one.
You think Devonta Smith, AJ Brown? It would have to be one of the tight ends. It'd have to be Dallas Goedert or Kelsey to score one of the first touchdowns, or a lineman. Throw it to a fucking lineman.
I see those odds. Those should be way higher than what they are. They're like plus 2,000. That hasn't happened all year. I don't feel like it happened even all last year either. So pump that way up. That shouldn't be anything like that.
Reed, though, he likes to pull out those fucking trick plays. And then on the other side, you got the Eagles. You got the Eagles with the Philly special in the Super Bowl. So might as well. I saw one bet. I think it was like plus 25,000. It was for both Kelsey brothers to score a touchdown. I'm gonna put money on. I'm gonna put money on it just because.
I mean, Travis is kind of a layup, but if they want to do something fun and give Jason Kelsey a rush or a pass attempt,
or he recovers like a fumble on the goal line or something, how fucking awesome would that be?
That would be. I mean,
that would make the entire Super Bowl.
That would be awesome for sure.
That would.
Absolutely.
But all right, I gotta fucking take off. You guys do your thing. Keep it up. I enjoy listening. I'll definitely tune in tomorrow. And hey, one last question for you guys. AEW tomorrow?
Yeah, it.
Let's do it. It's a stacked ass card. We got the Mike, scissor me. Both of you guys scissor me through the camera. The Acclaimed and the Ass Boys. We got Kenny Omega and the Elite. I think we got Jamie Hayter's
from his
big
visa.
Fat ass.
He's finally got his green card or whatever back. So good for him. Right. Thanks again, Bill.
I'm gonna take off.
I appreciate the time.
I
love you being here, man.
Yeah, appreciate you making the time.
I appreciate it. I love you guys too. I'll talk to you guys. Have a great rest of the fucking podcast.
Woo! Thank you, Bill.
Woo!
Woo! There you go. You be able to. There you go. Attaboy. Again, that was Wild Bill, former co-partner, co-host of the Degenerates podcast. Always, like I said, glad he was able to make the time. He was very excited about this, able to get Rand and Raven previewing all his predictions, all the Super Bowl stuff. And I mean, that's exactly what we're here to do. So you want to go ahead and kick it off as well? I feel like that's a hard follow, of course. Bill,
I mean,
nice and Bill's nice and animated. So I mean, go through everything. I mean, we can do the bets afterward, but I mean, just go through your preview prediction, what you feel like is going to happen, or just everything in between. So go for it if you want to take the reins.
Well, it's gonna be a good Super Bowl for sure. I think we can see that these are two teams that both deserve to be here for sure, and it's just going to be a shootout. I feel like I don't know because I feel like the Eagles have a better defense than the Chiefs, and so if the Eagles can somehow figure out a way to contain Mahomes, then they could win the game. But Mahomes is just, we all know what Mahomes can do, and if he's fully healthy, I mean, because we don't know what's wrong with him, but if he's all good to go, I mean, the Chiefs are pretty unstoppable, and they've been doing just fine without Tyreek Hill. I mean, Marquez Valdes-Scantling is like filling his shoe. I mean, he's not as fast as him, but he's playing the speedster role like he needs to. So I mean, that's all they really got him for. And that's all he does. He just gets the deep ass passes. I mean, he's able to run fast, and they've got Kelsey, they've got Pacheco, who's finally, I mean, he's been doing so good since they've been starting him. So
explosive.
I mean, they have such a good offense. Even if they had Tyreek Hill, they would just be even better. But they have a very good offense, and It's going to be a good one. I mean, the Eagles have a great offense too. Jalen Hurts has had an MVP season. If he wasn't hurt those couple games, he probably would win MVP. I don't know who's going to win MVP, but
I think front runner is Mahomes just because he was able to maintain his numbers and just be around. So either way, still pretty good.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, the Eagles have had a great season. Everyone says they've had like a cakewalk. They've had faced all these good teams and faced all these easy teams, but I don't know. It's still the NFL. It's hard to win any game. I mean, if you got to give them credit where it's due, and they've proven themselves. I mean, they've made it this far, and they also, I mean, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are like two very good wide receivers, and they got Dallas Goedert. They have Miles Sanders, and even Boston Scott has been scoring touchdowns. So,
if you see his props, his rushing is at like 7.5. It's just like it's tempting. It's tempting. If he gets like one goal line rush, he could probably get it.
He could get those yards, baby.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it should. And yeah, I keep reiterating it, but it should be a good one, man. This should be a good Super Bowl. It's not going to be one of those blowouts like when the Buccaneers played the Chiefs and it was like 38-7 or something, and it was just boring. I won money. The Buccaneers, I had like 100% boosts on them. So that was awesome. But I just like it when it's a fun game. It's the last game for us football fans until we go into deep depression. This past Sunday was like, what the hell? Like, there's no football on.
Yeah, man. No, I'm with Josh Jacobs. What is this shit? Like, what was this? It's like
the Pro that doesn't count. Yeah,
no, the Pro Bowl is nothing at this point. I mean, I was kind of had it around just in the background, but I made the time and rearranged this bad boy, so it was on and off. Even NFL fantasy, like their page was so desperate for a post. They put, "Hey, Geno Smith, if this was a game, even though it was just a flag football game, he would have had 31 points." I'm like, oh, geez, like really? Like, is that what we're worried about today?
A live stream of you rearranging your room would have been more entertaining than the Pro Bowl.
No, probably. I always argue doing. I know some of them go to college and all, but none of them really go to class. I would always like, I'd rather them do like an academic bowl. I'd rather see a spelling bee.
What?
Guys trying to spell restaurant or Wednesday or something like that. Just one of those words that are pretty tricky, and just be like, and just have like Saquon. No,
embarrass them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. just absolutely troll them. Yeah, you start them off really easy, like, oh, bread, and then give them good words like that, and they're like voluptuous. You're like, oh, geez.
Oh, fuck.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, there you go. That's pretty good.
It's going to be a great Super Bowl, and then we got Rihanna at halftime. I mean, it's like, what? It's going to be great. It's going to just be a great Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, you're like, oh, I watch it for the commercials. Yeah, maybe the commercials are okay. The commercials could be okay this year, but there's going to be some absolute woke stinkers. I can already feel it.
It's funny because I used to not be a football fan growing up, because when I grew up, like, my parents were not like sports fans at all. So I really was not a football fan, which is why I'm a Packer fan, because I kind of was just like,
you were able to find your own way.
I kind of just found my own,
yeah, you paved your own way.
And I was like, hey, Aaron Rodgers.
You went the wrong way, but you did it all by yourself.
So yeah, I never grew up in that household where it was just like bear down like all the time. Like,
no, I kind of feel the same way. Even though we were like Bears fans in this household, it was never like I always say it all the time. Like, I never lived and died by the Bears winning on Sunday. Like, that didn't affect my day. Unfortunately, that for me is like the White Sox, when of course they have a way more games than they do.
Yeah.
So 162 games, 162 days. My day is gonna either be really happy or really not happy. Which, as we're getting closer and closer, I feel like we're gonna have a shit summer. So either way, I mean, that's just kind of I
guess when you put it in that perspective, yeah, Bears fans. I mean, you just talk like Sox fans. They have it way worse than Bears fans. They're constantly depressed all the time.
If you're a Diamondbacks fan or something like that, yeah, geez, it's pretty brutal. Watch your baseball friends. Get them close. Hold them close. So, either way, I keep sidetracking.
I would like when I would watch, like, I would like the commercials growing. Like, whenever the Super Bowl went on, I would be like, oh, oh, what commercials are on now? like now,
everyone, shut up. The
Yeah.
commercials are on. You guys
Like,
are fucking,
having
drunk.
like a family party or something, and
Yeah.
I would always be like, "Oh, what commercials next?" Or like, it's just so stupid, dude. Like I think about it now, I'm like, it's so stupid. Like
I mean, now it's kind of like the only one you're gonna pay attention to is I think they probably have a bet. They probably have a prop for first commercial after once it starts, which is probably like Pepsi or Doritos or
I
Snickers
just
or
want
something
to
like
see
that.
this chip commercial with the Breaking Bad cast.
Oh
I saw
yeah.
them promoting that. I was like, that's the only one I care about.
They have that, and the conclusion of the Manning brothers. The house was torn apart. We're gonna figure out if he's gonna get all his snacks back, or if
And
Payton's
I
gonna
saw
get sick.
something that FanDuel was promoting something where Gronk is gonna kick a field goal during one
Oh
of the
geez.
commercials. He's gonna try to kick a field goal, and if he gets it, then everyone's gonna get like free bets on FanDuel or
Oh,
something.
that's okay. We don't worry about FanDuel here. We're all about Bet Rivers, baby.
Yeah.
Bet Rivers. bit.ly/no sub bets. That's what you want to worry about here, not FanDuel. You want Bet
I
Rivers.
mean, yeah,
baby.
Gronk's gonna miss anyway, so
I know. Yeah, I know.
he's not gonna get
They're
anything.
doing it on purpose because it's scripted. I mean, either way. Like I said, I don't mean to keep cutting you off on the preview. Were you all good on that one, or did you
Yeah, I'm just gonna call it a great Super Bowl for like the 100th time.
love
So
it? I mean, yeah, just that you're excited. That's how it is. I feel in the same way. Like this is gonna be tough. It's like the usual matchup that that we see. It's gonna finally be nut crunching time between the best offense and possibly top tier, possibly even the number one considered defense in the league. So this is gonna be awesome. NFL playoff bracket clearly works. Both number one seeds with buys got to the big dance. So not solely for the reason of the buy, but either way, it worked out for the NFL, worked out for the team. So I can't hear that narrative of, oh, maybe the buy hurts you more than it works.
no.
More than which is like one of the dumbest things. Like, would you rather have a week off or would you rather continue to get smashed and potentially get CT that week? I don't know. You put my hands up and I'm not really sure which one
You
I'm gonna
get out
pick.
of your groove,
Yeah,
man.
you get out of your groove. Like, no. I don't. If you didn't play for a month, like the college football playoff, I mean, yeah, that would be a little different. But it's a week, dude, and some of them are still hanging out, so they're still staying in shape. It's not like it's over. Like they clearly know
Yeah.
what's in front of them. Either way, I'll go back and forth. For the Eagles, arguably a little easier against a rebuilding, in terms of like paving their way to get here, going up against a rebuilding Giants squad, then going up against a banged up 49ers squad, having the easiest regular season schedule. That you can't, obviously you play the schedule in front of you. They didn't create it themselves. However, they did have the best record against teams above 500 this year. So that helps them out a little bit, I feel. In terms of the Chiefs' path to getting here, started off on the wrong foot. Literally, Patrick Mahomes screwed up his ankle. Getting a
Yeah.
firecracker of a team against the Jags also didn't help. But yeah, just getting Chad Henne to help out, that was also pretty good for him
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I mean, that's yeah, honestly.
They get the Bengals in the AFC Championship, and what I'm not going to sit here and argue whether or not it was a referee gate or whatever, referee ball. Go ahead and check out our previous episode when we talked all about it. Whatever. You couldn't put up a winning drive with 2 minutes plus, but let's just say that they got screwed with no proof. No proof needed. Let's just argue every single holding call that wasn't called or was called. We'll be sitting here all night again. Those are the same people that argue that are the same people that probably think that Arian Foster wasn't joking in this video. Regardless, here we are. This is what we got. We got the Eagles, we got the Dirty Birds, we got the Chiefs. I don't think they have a nickname. Either way, the Eagles, they're gonna run all over you. They can defend very well, and with a healthy Hurts, I think he's proven that he can get it done both on the ground and through the air. A tandem with a tandem connection to AJ Brown and even Devonta Smith. On the Chiefs side, get the very good brains of Andy Reid. He's been there, done that. He's got some titles underneath his belt already. It's a big belt. But the defense, they keep them up there, and when the defense keeps them there, this killer of an offense that they have, it's arguably unstoppable. So, I mean, you also got the greatest quarterback, arguably greatest quarterback to date right now, who, even with a bum ankle, he's going to get it done. He's going to be a solid pocket passer. Excuse me. A little bit of bonus, I suppose. I guess I found stat wise, the Chiefs have fallen in love with pressing, with pressing on defense, and the Eagles are top notch, if not top 10 against defenses that press. So also something that I wanted to throw in there and consider. Let me see, positives. Let me do some positives and some drawbacks, or excuse me, I did the positives for now. Let me do some little drawbacks. Eagles rush defense isn't up to par compared to their overall production. So maybe something like I said, that getting Isaiah Pacheco involved is what even as well as Jerick McKinnon, who hasn't really seen too much rushing, but probably on the receiving end is going to get involved. Either way, you've seen them time and time again where they get out to a big lead and kind of just coast, where it's just score and then just defend, score again, and then just kind of just take the pedal off the gas. So they haven't really had that challenge yet. They haven't, like I said earlier to Bill, just has Jalen Hurts been challenged to make that big play with his arm? I don't think so. He hasn't needed to be because of the way that these games have played out so far. But can he provide in said scenario? We don't know because the time hasn't come up yet. Chiefs can. Patrick Mahomes definitely can. We know that for sure. Yeah. On the Chiefs side, drawback wise, the offensive line, if they can hold up against the Eagles, can they hold up against the Eagles pass rush, which was again top notch and what really did them in against the Buccaneers the last time they were in the Super Bowl, only being able to score 9 points because Patrick Mahomes is running for his life even when Tyreek Hill was out there. They not necessarily. I was about to say they didn't get really any much better, but I keep praising Isaiah Pacheco a little bit because he was on my fantasy team. But he's also been proving through production, only getting like 11 or 12 rushes, but almost cracking 100 yards on the ground every single time and possibly getting a score every now and again. So I think that's still pretty good either way. Overall, health-wise, I mean, for both squads, it's kind of rough, but on the Chiefs side, a little bit more banged up. You see questionable Mahomes. I think 2 weeks is a little bit better with that ankle, but as a guy who's gone through tons of ankle, getting it twist up, swollen, and spraining them constantly during football season, it could mess you up if you don't treat it right. But I know Kadarius Toney questionable as well, Juju Smith also as well, and I believe McCole Hardman is completely out as of right now. So it's really it's gonna be tough to figure out besides Travis Kelce who's gonna be catching balls for the Chiefs this week. My intuition tells me to rely on the defense, tells me to rely on the pass rush numbers and just the track record that's accumulated with that. I mean, every single, like I just said previously, with the Buccaneers having just winning solely for that purpose the last time they were there. It just feels but it just feels wrong opposing a QB like Patrick Mahomes that just has a squad full of killers that are just ready to win at all times. So I feel like a square leaning either which way, like I kind of am, and I'll get into it when we do bets. But I don't know. I'm kind of like trying to like see their talent rooms, pull it apart. I mean, QB wise, give it to Patrick Mahomes. Running back room, individually, I would say Isaiah Pacheco is better than a couple of these guys, but in terms of who's there, you got to give the running backs to the Eagles side. Receivers, I'm gonna say tied. You can argue with me on that, but I'm gonna say tied. Defense, I'm gonna give it to the Eagles side, and coaching, I'm gonna lean towards Andy Reid. So if we got those 5 categories, we're kind of split 2, 2, and 1 right there in terms of teams right there. So either way, final decision for me. If it plays out slow where Mahomes can't move the ball due to a lack of depth with their wide receivers or Pacheco and McKinnon is just being stuffed at the line, then just crown the Eagles. I mean, realistically, if that plays out like it does, the Eagles can they've done this all season. Get out to a lead, defend, get a bigger lead on that, defend, and just run the clock out. I mean, it might be boring in that sense. I don't want it to be. The hopeful football fan wants it to be an absolute shootout, but I can see where it could absolutely happen like that, where it could just kind of crumbles away. And I don't know. I'm, for the sake of having fun and just calling our shots, and I'm going to go and say 26-23 in favor of the Eagles. Yeah, but it ought to be a banger. Again, realistically, my brain leads the Eagles. because of just conservative football reasons, but fun football fan wants a high scoring offense and possibly in favor of the Chiefs. And in that race, and it's back and forth like that, the Chiefs are going to keep up, and they're going to be there. So it's tough. It's really tough. I don't know.
I mean, they're both they both are just very deserving teams. Like I was saying before,
without a doubt.
I mean, it's just, I mean, you've been saying, I mean, it's just going to be a tough matchup. Like it's great because it's just one of those things where I don't know who's going to win. Honestly, I could say, I mean, I'm going to bet on something, but it's like I really don't know.
Yeah, no.
Who's going to win? It can go either way. It really can.
That's why I'm bouncing back and forth, and I haven't made anything for sure on the apps just yet. But I mean, once I say it on here, I'm kind of just going to lock it in just automatically. And even then, I'm probably even live betting, but
yeah,
it's tough because just the line hasn't moved really. I think it started off with the Chiefs -2.5 as it went, and then the public just hardcore hammered the Eagles, and it's just been sitting where it has been. With that being said, we can just get into like our bets and where we see it playing out. I'm just, again, without just the way that I wrote it down and the way I just talked about it right now, I sound like a square, and I guess I feel like it too, but I'm just going to take the Eagles -1.5 for basically all the reasons that I said before. Just their defense is slightly bit better.
Their defense is better.
Yeah.
Their defense is better.
I would argue, yeah. I mean, Chandler Jones, they're the Chiefs front line. I mean, they're stacked up with, I'm not going to try and take anything away from them on that, but I just comparatively so. Just the Eagles have been there. They're getting healthier. I believe that Gardner Johnson is moving to his actual strong safety position again, where he locked it down. So it's just little things like that, and just I guess you always really rely on the top tier defense before we always rely on the top offense.
Defense wins championships. Right?
It's not.
That's
yeah,
what
it's not
they
just
say.
a saying. It's not just a saying. It's literally it's in the stats. Whether if I wish I had them all in front of me, but obviously the Broncos and the Seahawks from 2015, 16 or whenever it was. The Seahawks were the top defense, and they showed it. They absolutely just plugged it up with 41-8. Yeah, it was a bad one. That one was a boring one, exactly like you were saying earlier. You want an exciting game. Yeah. So I mean, I'm leaning towards the Eagles. Are you leaning towards the Chiefs because you see the plus money, or are you just leaning towards them because you actually feel like there's going to be some sort of some luck or I'm not luck, but some sort of like strike of, I don't know, some big offensive strike or something like that?
Well, for starters, Wild Bill got me all of us Christmas gifts this year that had futures in them. And one of my futures was the Chiefs. So I'm rooting for the Chiefs, and them being plus money alone is like, yeah, I'm attracted by that plus money. Okay. Patrick Mahomes being plus money. I mean, how can I not throw a little on that? Like Bill, I mean, like just like Bill was saying earlier, I mean, when's the last time Patrick Mahomes is an underdog? And we know that there might be something with his leg or something, but I think he'll be just fine.
It's been a long enough time that he's been probably resting on it, taking enough enough medicines.
It's not like I don't think they're gonna get blown out. I feel like it will be a good bet. You can bet on something that's plus money, and you got Patrick Mahomes in your corner, so it's a good thing to root for on Sunday, I feel like. And I like that first. I'm gonna ride with Bill too, because I did that last year with Odell and he scored and I was going crazy. I couldn't believe it. So Kelsey, there we go. Chiefs, Kelsey, and I saw a bet too where it was Kelsey to score an anytime touchdown and the Chiefs to win plus 195.
That's pretty good.
I'm gonna bet on that. I feel like Kelsey scoring, like you said, is a layup. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is going to try to throw it to him in the end zone at some point in the game. So you just know he's going to get opportunities for that. And then you still got the juice on the Chiefs winning then. So that was a good one. And I like betting on the first touchdowns. That's a nice little adrenaline rush. And the coin toss, baby.
That's what I just texted Bill right now. I failed to ask him. That was one of my things I wanted to
We
get
all
his
have to make
idea.
sure we are all doing
we
the
all
same
on the same. We got to be
thing.
all on the same heads or tails one, and then I think we should all be on the same color for the Gatorade if we're leaning on one. Bill threw out orange. I was kind of leaning towards that too. I mean, I think orange was it when the Chiefs won. I think the front runner might be green and yellow right now, but that's not enough juice right there. Yeah, green.
I like orange.
Yeah, orange is pretty good. Other ones are like plus 900 for purple, and clear water is also up there. I think to not have one is 1400 plus 1400, which is like that's
not have one.
Throw that out the window.
Have one every year.
Well, someone's gonna dunk soda on them, or like what are you gonna do? I mean, that just sounds ridiculous.
There was something that I saw when I
Bill
was
says
scrolling.
heads.
Then heads it is.
Bill says heads. I kind of like that too, because someone posted they'd flipped 1,000 quarters.
I saw that.
And it went to the head side as well. So
let's go with heads. Everybody listening, heads. If you're watching the Super Bowl, they're both plus 100. So bet on heads. We're all going to be watching, rooting for heads, and if it loses, then we're sad right away. One thing I like doing.
I love those quick ones, because my other one is plus 125. No on a touchback. They're taking that ball out. They are taking that ball out between it being.
You were sad last year.
Yeah, I was very pissed off. But they're talking about being in a dome. Elliott has the boot on him. Butker's been a little hurt this year, so maybe watch out on that. He hasn't been the best one. So hopefully bank on Butker kicking it, being a little short on it. And like Pat McAfee alluded to on his podcast, a year or two ago now, when everyone hammered it. These are brand new balls, highly pumped up with air. It's very hard to kick. So they're the ones that you immediately kicked off, and then they're taking to Canton right away. They're just one off ball. So seems pretty good to me. That's it was just last year, but the past like 28 times it's been no, or excuse me, 25 out of 28 times it's been no, just like last year being the outlier. So it's due to hit no this year now. So I think that's a good one to start off with.
Have some fun. You get same game parlay all of those. Bet heads. Bet no on the touchback, right? So they return, and bet the Gatorade's orange.
And then you can also bet the first play of the game, run or pass. I think I'm going to go with pass, because everyone's going to think run with all these running backs. I think that's a little bit of plus. I'm trying to find it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, I switched it to rush being minus 150. So the other one's probably pass plus 190 or something like that. I'm going to flip it to the other one that I wrote down.
If you're listening and you don't gamble, you can gamble on anything.
Yeah. Like I said, all these are all these things, all these props that I'm talking about for sure are up and available on BetRivers. BetRivers, bit.ly/no-sub-bets. Go ahead and do that. You'll get your first bet free up to $500. That's all. That's nice and easy money right there. But I mean, yeah, I'll fire away on the rest of mine right here. I said Eagles minus 1.5. I know square in that sense with the way I predicted the score. Right now I'm leaning at 50.5. I have the under at that number. I hope that it's going to bump up a little bit towards the game. People are going to get really excited, like, oh, I want points scored. There's going to be a lot of points scored. Take the over. So maybe that number bumps up another one or two more. Maybe we can get it at 51.5, 52. That'd be pretty nice. I'll take the under right there. It could still be nice, and it could still hit the under and be a nice game. So let's not be all like mopey on that. Let's see. 2 players to have a rush attempt, including overtime. Okay. excuse me, I read that wrong. Total players to have a rush attempt, including the overtime, I have under 9.5. So that means under 9.5 people are going to rush the ball at minus 157. I'm
That
just thinking
sounds easy.
exactly. I'm just thinking in my head. The only thing I would have to watch out and worry about if they do wide receiver end arounds with multiple people besides Kadarius Toney and maybe like Martez Valdez-Scantling.
Under 9.5 seems extremely easy.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
I
saying.
feel like there's no way more than 9 people are gonna rush.
I know, like I said, just with even this is just even if I even included Ronald Jones, even if he rushes, sometimes he gets rushing attempts for some reason. They just did activate Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but that'd be insane if he saw the ball, if he saw the field.
So then Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, they
Isaiah,
count too.
Yeah, I'm counting Pacheco, Mahomes, McKinnon for sure, maybe even Ronald Jones and possibly Kadarius Toney. So you got to watch out for that. Jalen Hurts, Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, and Miles Sanders. The only thing I would have to worry about is one person popping in for a QB kneel down. If God forbid, Gardner Minshew comes in for one kneel down, that would absolutely ruin me. So that was, like I said, that's even including if they want to get smart and play Ronald Jones, which they shouldn't do that. He's not a good player. If they get spicy and they want to throw in Kadarius Toney in a running situation, which is possible, he's very elusive. So
yeah,
I still like the minus 157 right there on.
No, yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome.
First point score, I'm leaning with Elliott or Butker. I'm leaning on the kickers, plus 390, plus 375, respectively, in that regard. Prop wise, I kind of alluded to this earlier. Took Isaiah Pacheco's receiving at 14.5. They threw it a lot to him last week, and just the idea that, saying it earlier, explosive. He bounces one broken tackle, he can get that on one reception. So that's pretty nice right there. I see his rushing at 47.5 on Bet River. Wow. So I'm going to take that at minus 109. Yeah, of course, like I said earlier, opening kickoff touchback, no, plus 125. We'll come up with we're not going to go with heads. We're going to go with the Gatorade, probably orange. Right, we'll double down. We'll ride with Bill on that.
We'll ride with orange.
Yeah. I think I only have one MVP flyer, and you can basically take, you can either take the field or you can take QBs to win. Hopefully I word this right. QBs to win or not to win, essentially. So basically, like I said, QBs versus everybody else. I'm going to go with everybody else plus 350. Why not? Cooper Kupp won it last year, and I'm already leaning towards it anyways with my flyer, with Travis Kelce being plus 1100. Not really much analysis right there, but if he goes off and has 2 touchdowns, if he has 10 receptions, 2 touchdowns, and over 100 yards, that's pretty good line for him to get it right there. So bunch of plays right there, bunch of things to go over, tons of things and more besides what I just threw out there, besides what Mike threw out there, and Wild Bill, including all on Bet River. So again, I didn't write it down completely. bit.ly/no sub for bets. If you want to do that on Bet Rivers, that would be awesome. This is a big one. This is like the biggest gambling day of the year. So 1-800-GAMBLER if you got a problem on that one as well. Let me see. Do you have any other bets? Any other big thing lingering right now? I mean, we're, I guess, a house divided. I'm going to go with the Eagles, with the Dirty Birds, and you're going to go ahead and go with the Chiefs. I'm not going to be doing too crazy. If someone wants to follow what I do, again, I'll be full disclosure. I'm not throwing money around right here, left and right. I throw plays out, and maybe I'll probably end up hitting everything I threw out for sure. But I'm going to do 5 big plays of $20 on things, and hopefully, and I'm just going to worry about 5 things, and I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to throw $5 here, like I said, on the flyer for Travis Kelce to be MVP. I'll throw another 5 for 350 for anybody else to be MVP, something like that. But I'll probably hit the 20 on the under. I'll probably hit the 20 on the spread, and whether or not I for sure lock in the Eagles. I think I'm still like 80% leaning towards them, kind of how the fans are, how the public is writing on it. I'll probably go with the no on the touchback. Get some plus money right there. Probably one of the Isaiah Pacheco props. And then I'm gonna have to decide on like a touchdown score, which is probably again. I like Isaiah Pacheco. I like Isaiah Pacheco a little too much, maybe, but I don't care. This kid's awesome. So either way, that'll be my kind of play. I know again, people are like, I don't know, maybe you're not having fun with this, or that's just kind of how I do it. I'm not saying that's the right way. It's definitely not the wrong way. You know, I make some money here and there left, not nothing too insane. I'm not money bags over here. I'm not Mr. Beast. But either way, just have fun with it. I mean, this is going to be awesome. Between just betting on it, just watching it in general, you're just gathering around with your friends. This is always one of the best times of the year, obviously. So This is great. This is awesome. I know. And then our boy, luckily he's going to have the day off. Our boy Dom is going to be hosting. As of right now, I think he's got the A-OK. He's got the green light. So I'm putting it on the video. So now it's for sure going to have to happen, Dom. You're going to have to host now.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this, Jim, what the fuck did you think?
No. You don't do that.
The fuck you think?
Come on, man. It's
the Super Bowl.
Nah, no.
We both said that at the same time.
It is the Nooper Bowl. We got a ton more to get into. Obviously, I'll preview really quick. I mean, we jumped right ahead into it, and hopefully people enjoyed the chapters on that, so you can go ahead and skip through what you like and what you don't like. If you watched it earlier, we'll preview or recap The Last of Us episode 4 towards the end of the show. I got a wrestling thing to get into, of course, like we always do, but more NFL on the way. We got Tom Brady retiring, maybe 12 hours after we last recorded. So that was pretty awesome. Between him retiring and then the sand that went up on eBay, I don't know which I saw more. So, I mean, yeah, we got that. Julian Love stirring up the pot, Aaron Rodgers talk to get into. NFL, NBA wise, Bill Russell's number was retired. We'll get into that. We got some trade talk, a LeBron James talk as well, unfortunately. And then a little bit of, a lot of stuff going on between MMA, boxing, wrestling, and just other stuff that we get into. And then we saw a movie. We'll keep it brief just because we don't want to get flagged for how vulgar.
I don't know. I don't know how much we could talk about.
We'll keep it light. I mean, I'm not really going to be hardcore, like saying like, "Hey, go watch it." I kind of agree with what we said.
Yeah, I'll leave that up to you.
It's to Infinity the viewer. Pool. We might be talking about Infinity Pool for anybody. Just like you're on the edge of your seat. You don't know what movie we're talking about. That was fun. That was a fun one. Either way, let's just carry. I guess we'll carry on. Like I said, I just want to give everybody a rest of the way preview of what's going to be coming on just after the Super Bowl talk. So there we go. If you're good, we can get into. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just talk Aaron Rodgers. I didn't believe this when I saw it. I didn't. We were talking about it before. Just the way that we were talking about before we hopped on. The way that it was worded in whatever meme form, Twitter form, however you get your news. I don't even know where my phone just fell. Either way, didn't seem real.
Yeah, I did not think it was real. I saw a picture at work. And I laughed at it because I genuinely thought it was just something fake made up, and then come to see that it was legitimate.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about exactly, of course, Aaron Rodgers doing his usual, checking in on the Pat McAfee show, kind of just slid it in there that he wasn't going to be completely retiring or on the end of it or something like that. Excuse me, I just got the burps hardcore, but he's going to go ahead and spend 4 days in isolation, in total darkness on a retreat. And the quote I see here, which I don't know if this is exactly real, but this is why I didn't think it was real. I feel like I'll be a lot closer to that final decision. I thought someone was just trolling, trying to do another Adolf Hitler type quote with him being like a German Hitler Nazi or something. So,
wow.
Hey man, when you get that haircut, you're up to it. So either way, I mean, yeah, it didn't sound real. I kind of threw that out there earlier. Like, if you're in the same regards as Jared Leto taking those retreats, that was the way I don't know if you heard about that one. Jared Leto didn't know that COVID was happening because he was on a 12-day isolation type similar retreat.
I think it was way longer. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
he was gone for
ridiculous.
like a year or something.
No, it wasn't that long. It was pretty long, but I don't think it was a year. I don't think it was probably longer than like 2 weeks. But either way, it's weird. It's just I don't think that's good for your mental health either way. You just got to sit there and I mean, they do that for torture in prison. They put people in solitary confinement. You're in a room by yourself getting bread and water, and that's it. Like I don't people that come out of there, they're not the same afterwards. So I don't know necessarily if this is the right thing for him to be doing. In my mind, it's just more like, damn, how desperate are you for to be talked about again? Like it's just been 3 days, man. We can't go another news cycle without talking about you. Sorry, I guess, but I don't know. It just seems crazy. It seems crazy to me to do that, and that's why I lean towards attention seeking and just come out and just say yes or no, man. Just decide. I mean, it's the writing's kind of on the wall already, so just say it. I don't know, man. It's I guess again you're gonna get the bias from me, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's stupid and it's just a dumb move and just like a hey look at me type deal again. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't respect it. Nobody, no how. Sorry. So I mean it's getting tougher to defend this guy. I don't know how you do it. So good on you. Good on you for trying. I mean if you can prove everyone wrong and do something, but I'm gonna lean towards it's not gonna happen. Either way, you got any more comment on your guy Aaron Rodgers other than just I hope he figures it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I do.
What? Oh, geez.
Now let me make sure I'm in complete darkness to talk about how fucking demon he is. I have to be in complete darkness for 4 days to get it through to someone? Why can't he just tell us if he wants to be on this team or not? And I've already accepted the fact. I said this last week. I've accepted the fact that he's gone. He's gone. In my eyes, Aaron Rodgers, he's given up on the Packers. He gave up last season. You know, he was just to get in a paycheck. He was having fun. He said he cared, but you know, does he treat all these other receivers like he used to treat Randall Cobb or Jordy Nelson or these guys that he actually respected? He doesn't take the time to teach these guys anything. Doesn't care about this team. He acts like he does, but he doesn't. And he's going to go run to Las Vegas to be with Devontae Adams because that's his only saving grace anymore to stay relevant.
Damn. Whew, that was ice cold, Mike. Oh my goodness. Bullets out of the chamber. That was vicious and I liked it. Good. I liked it. I like to see the side of you.
I'm to the point where I was an Aaron Rodgers fan. That's the only reason I like the Packers. And people would say, are you a Packer fan or are you an Aaron Rodgers fan? I was an Aaron Rodgers fan. That's literally the only reason I watched them because I loved what he did on the field. It was amazing. I couldn't believe what I was watching every week. I was like, holy shit, like this is insane. Like the Hail Marys and just like the crazy plays, and it's just like there would be 30 seconds left in a game, and you'd be like, we're gonna win. Like it's just like if they'd be down, and it'd be like we're gonna come back and win because we have Aaron Rodgers.
It's just like the precision passes, and I still think of the one. I think it was against the Dallas Cowboys. He gets that play. It was a mixture of good little pocket for only that guy to get it. I mean, was it the tight end? He got it just at the sideline, got his tiptoes in it, set up for a field goal against the Cowboys, I believe.
Yeah.
So you just, I can.
I mean,
I'll give him his due.
There's so many. The Cowboys games, the Cardinals game, the 2 Hail Marys in the playoff game against them, the Lions game,
the Lions game winner, the Thursday night one. That's what they always play all the time.
He had like multiple Hail Marys with Jordy Nelson against the Bears that I remember.
Yeah, vividly. Unfortunately.
And their Hail Mary to Randall Cobb where he was in the back of the end zone, and like it's like he's done it so like it's done it so many times. It's insane. And I hate that he has this big ego, as if, I mean, like he's good, but he's only won 1 Super Bowl at the end of the day. And I get that you can't do it all by yourself, but it sucks for me to say that I love Aaron Rodgers. Now, I'll admit it. I'll buy an Aaron Rodgers Las Raider jersey because I rooted for him for this
Gonna lie,
long.
those jerseys are pretty icy. Those are pretty nice.
Yeah.
Those
When
are
we
one of
were
my
in Las
favorites.
Vegas for Double or Nothing, I remember when we were walking past the shop and like I was looking at the Devontae Adams jerseys because I mean I'll still always I always have respect for Aaron Rodgers because he's literally the reason that I watch football. So I'll always respect him, but the way that he's just been treating everything lately, it's just disrespectful a little to us Packer fans. It's like you said, just say if you want to be here or not. It's that
Shit or get
simple.
off the pot, dude.
I hate making this whole game every week on the McAfee show. What next little detail am I gonna reveal for you guys to talk about next? And it's like, oh God. Like you said, it always has to be about him. They have to be talking about him on First Take, on Colin, on like just everything. Everyone has to be talking about him, and he acts like it's not like that, but it's.
I mean, it had to eat him up a little bit that, like, oh, we're talking about Brady retiring, finally going out there, and no one really giving him any guff because he just the Dallas Cowboys absolutely ransacked the Buccaneers. I did see a couple memes, of course, but I mean, I guess maybe it was maybe something like that was eating away at him, or just something like that. The sand was going for a lot too much money in his mind. Either way, I mean,
I just never thought I would feel this way because even throughout all the things Aaron Rodgers has done, I've always been like, with all the stuff with his family, all of that stuff, like everything. I've always been like, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it was like.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Like, I've always stuck by his side, but it's just starting to get to the point where
it's getting tougher and tougher to spin zone it and make it like positive in that light in his way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I won't sit here and call him, certain exactly label him any sort of which way, but yeah, it's getting exactly like you said, diva-ish. Or it's been like this for a while in some people's eyes. But I mean, yeah, I guess for the actual Packer fans, not just. I mean, you were saying this like, oh, it's torturous for us Packer fans. I can just only imagine if you were on the team, if you're something like in line like that. I'm sure
He's a distraction to this point.
100%.
It's starting to get to the point where I don't want to say like Antonio Brown level, but it's a distraction. You're supposed to be the leader or the star of this team, and
I mean, to be fair, until he puts up a dick pic, I'll lean towards no. I'll lean towards the Antonio Brown.
But just like when
he
joined the Raiders, and Max Crosby was just talking about it in an interview the other day, and he's saying like Antonio Brown was supposed to be our guy. He's supposed to be our leader on the team, and he was treating like he was just not showing up to practice. There was all the stuff with the helmet where he was like, I'm not wearing this helmet. And then like, it's just, and all stuff with John Gruden and
just
everything.
Be small things that just keep piling up and turn into one huge thing.
Yeah. And he said once they got rid of him, he said it was like a sigh of relief for the locker room. He was like, he said he was just a distraction every day. And
people can finally breathe knowing that they don't have to deal with that. Like, it could be a huge thing. Yeah. Understandable in that regard for sure.
And I bet that even like the younger guys on the team, I bet like Romeo Dobbs, like Christian Watson, like these guys, but they're like, I don't know, they're like, fuck this guy. Like, let's get Jordan Love in here. Like, it's like,
I mean, it's probably a mixture of that or just like, there's other people at this. Yeah, I guess there's. And he's like, oh, you can go somewhere? Like, hey, motherfucker, I could go somewhere else. Like, I don't need this. And they could probably have that same sort of regard of just like, oh, I'm just only stuck here because I'm on my rookie contract. There's nothing really I can do until something pops up. I mean, he's there. He essentially has control over what goes where, who goes where. It just, I mean, I know he doesn't have a for sure 100% go, but like, he kind of does. He has a lot of influence over there, being essentially the pillars, the stone there, or whatever it is, that just making up everything there. So it's tough. It's tough. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I want to keep dunking on him and saying this and that, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just a ton of other stuff to get into, and it's just feeding into the narrative of we're talking about him more, even though I don't want to be talking about this guy sucker. We're already talking about
in conclusion, I'm gonna get that jersey. I'm gonna have Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams on my fantasy team because they're gonna get so many points. And
I can't wait for the pun name for that team too. That'll come up soon. Always changing the team names this year. That was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, I was liking that. But I mean, I'm just trying to think of something I genuinely think that Aaron Rodgers is not a Packer anymore. It hasn't happened yet. Nothing's official, but it's gonna happen any day. It's like to the point where I'm just waiting for a notification to happen. Like I know it's gonna happen. So if I hope it's the Raiders, just so he can at least have Devontae Adams, so he can maybe win MVP again.
Try, yeah. It's gonna be Rodgers against Mahomes 2 times out of the year, against Justin Herbert 2 times out of the year, and against the Broncos, who now have a new head coach in Sean Payton. I don't know if you saw that video with Sean Payton being interviewed. He's like, "Hey, coach, do you know about Russell Wilson's personal head coach or personal coaches that he has around here?" He's like, yeah, that's not, basically, paraphrasing. He's like, that's not going to fly. We're going to have our coaches. We're going to have our team, and that's going to be it. So I'm kind of torn on the Sean Payton hiring. A lot of people are saying it could be a rejuvenation for a similar build that Russell Wilson has and Drew Brees has. Drew Brees obviously being with the Saints, Sean Payton being down there all those years. I don't know. Can it be a waking up, a reawakening of Russell Wilson down there? Because the wide receiver core still pretty solid. Defense was top notch. Everyone talks about if they only scored 17 points or 18 or plus points throughout the year, they would have won 15 games or something like that. So
wow.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Exactly. So just stuff like that, where you're like, it could be just the play calling, the terrible play calling from Nathaniel Hackett, and just again the wherewithal, the smart play calling, and just being at the helm. Been there, done that. Like I said earlier about Andy Reid, but just with Sean Payton, he's been there, he's done that. He's got around. He's playing with Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Hall of Fame receivers, and stuff like that before. So this could be a good fit. It could all be just a matter of if Russell Wilson is ready to adapt and actually participate and get rid of all the distractions, similar to the guy that we were just talking about earlier. Is he gonna do all those crazy catchphrases or be weird or try and be
I'm unlimited?
Exactly. Like, are you just trying to make yourself
to be
something crazy, or are you actually just going to focus in, hone in, not do up downs while you're on your way to London? Like, oh my God, like, what are you doing, bro? That was, again, I revisit that story. Like, what are you working out on a plane going across the pond, mate, and you're going to do high knees for 4 hours? You're going to shake the plane and kill everybody, maniac.
I'm unlimited.
Either way, I'll throw it to you of just whether you think, just A, is Sean Payton a good fit, and B, just do you think that'll rejuvenate Russell Wilson in any sort of way?
I'm gonna for starters, I'm gonna just say shout out Nathaniel Hackett for somehow getting a job after this season.
Back to the Jets, right? Yeah.
The Jets looked at the Broncos dumpster fire of this offensive season. They said, we want that. So shout out to him.
They looked at that and said, he can help Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? What are we
doing? I
honestly
honestly don't understand. If I was a Jets fan, I would be so mad.
Yeah. Again, you're looking at that QB depth chart and you're like, damn, is Joe Flacco really our best quarterback right now?
Yeah.
Oh my Lanta. Yeah, either way. Sorry. I
didn't mean to get off track, but yeah, I do think Sean Payton is going to change the team entirely. I think he's going to have that stern mentality of like, people are going to be like afraid, like not afraid of him, but like the Bill Belichick, like he's going to be
he's going to be respected.
He's our coach. Yeah. Like he's not going to be like some bitch like Nathaniel Hackett. Like it's not, he's going to be serious. He's going to not like you were saying, like Russell Wilson, like he's not having his personal coaches here anymore. He's like, this is only for the people on this team. And like, he's going to definitely like make Russell take him seriously and like get more part of this team and play like he should be, because they're paying him fucking hundreds of millions of dollars. So I would hope that they figure it out. And now they just traded they traded picks for Sean Payton, right? Or how did it?
Yeah, the compensation for it was just a couple of draft picks throughout from this year, and I think one from a year coming up too as well. So
yeah, I mean,
nothing too crazy though. Yeah,
I've got some cousins that are Broncos fans, so I like rooting for them. I was so excited when they got Russell Wilson. I was texting him like, "Oh, you guys got Wilson! Like,
time to cook."
Yeah, I was like, "This is gonna be awesome."
Yeah.
And I mean, like you were saying, I mean, we all thought the Broncos were gonna be great this year.
I'll be the first one to say it. I was when Bill and I did we were previewing divisions every week. I said, you know what? Screw it, throw it out there. Broncos to win the division, and sure enough, I mean they pooped on my face. They went ahead and said, we're not doing that. They made me look so stupid, but I'm sure I'll take that every single time. I got duped. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people did too.
But I don't think Wilson is washed yet.
No, I don't think so. I think he's. I'll give him this year.
That coach. Yeah,
I'll give him this year to determine that. I'm sure. I don't think we'll get necessarily prime clutch Russell Wilson entirely, but we'll get a much better performing more than 11 or 10 touchdowns this year. He's going to get more touchdowns than his bathroom count this year, I think.
Yeah.
Even then, can't take it. If you have a healthy Jerry Jeudy and
Greg Dulcich.
Greg Dulcich can have a solid sophomore year. I think that'll be good too. I'm blanking on the other receiver's name, but either way,
Jerry Jeudy and
Cortland Sutton.
Oh yeah, I was like, why can't I?
I mean, numbers didn't jump out at you as anything too special, but these guys have some pretty solid talent down there. So either way, and again, a well-rounded defense, they're pretty good as well. Yeah. Like I said, we kind of blew past Brady retiring. Who cares? I mean, enough people were kind of talking.
I mean,
about
he
that.
Already retired.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to have this same. We had the same conversation that we similar last year with Bill and I. Yeah. Just like, hey, is he going to actually do it? Does he do it? Or I don't want to get duped again.
The only thing is he did sign that deal with Fox. I think it was he said 2024 he's going to start, and
I don't think he's even going to get involved in that. A lot of people aren't really thinking he's going to get into the broadcasting booth anytime soon. He could, and he would be pretty good at it. I mean. Is he going to be better than Tony Romo, who's been apparently reportedly got a talking to from CBS about his lack of, I guess, knowledge on the game, or just, I guess, improvising a little too much? Hey, hey, I know I'm one and the same. I kind of sit here and I contradict myself left and right on here just because I'm not a professional just yet on the mic. But give Tony Romo a break, man. I know he was probably banking on his QB skills, just getting freshly out of the NFL. He was able to predict basically every play that was in front of his face. But now he's getting a little brutal in some aspects, maybe talking a little bit more than he should. I think that would be the only drawback. But I guess it's like, does he really not know what's going on? I don't know. I guess he can be prepared a little bit more, I suppose. But this flack that he's getting left and right from just people that, I mean, they couldn't even talk. They can't talk to if they had to. I mean, I don't know.
The internet switches up on you like that, man.
Yeah, I know.
People will praise him like, oh my God, Tony Romo predicted their formation and he called the play before it happened, and like it's like he would be like, they got a guy left and now they're running right, Jim, or like they would be like, exactly, that would happen, and people repost that. But now, yeah, like there would be one thing where like people were saying he accidentally almost said that, like, I'm not even going to say it, but yeah, I was like, that's ridiculous.
He almost did like, that. They're jumping on that. They're just him not knowing down sometimes or something like that.
Or like sometimes he's just literally like,
I know. That was also the thing of him like contradicting himself. He's like, oh, is it a first down? I don't know. Maybe it's not a first down. I guess you gotta be a little bit better.
That sometimes because it makes it feel like he's a real person. Like it doesn't have to be so formal all the time.
Exactly.
Like,
he's the color commentator. He knows what's going on still, and he could have a little bit of fun with it. And then his partner, Jim Nantz, is still there to give you the play-by-play. That's exactly what the perfect tandem is. I think it's just what you were saying. People get, if you all over consumption of it, too much of it is gonna make people flip and change their mind on it. In my mind, Joe Buck is still the worst at calling any sort of game.
Yeah.
I love that one of my favorite YouTube videos is like Joe Buck calls the most exciting plays and just him just monotoned like I guess I'm gonna butcher the name, but like the Blue Jays in like 1993 or 1994 when they walked it off and with a big home run, and that's a fly ball hitting out to center field and it's gone and we'll see you next week or something. Just very calmly, and this is like Jimmy Carter. I don't even remember. Either way, just one of those exciting plays in baseball. Either like that's just what I'm saying.
And the Cubs
exactly, and the Cubs win the World Series. Like I've seen legit plays where this guy's he broke like six tackles. And he just keeps saying his last name. He's like Lynch or Marchand breaking a tackle. Marchand breaks another.
Marchand breaks another.
Marchand. He's run for 70 yards. He's gonna go into the end zone. It's just and Marchand takes it in, touchdown. It's just like it's so bad. Joe Buck is really in my mind the worst. People say it's because of the bias. I don't hear the bias. I just hear an unenthused commentator is what I hear when I hear Joe Buck. I guess tough when he's out there as many times as he is calling different games. I'll give him that, but you got to bring the fire and thunder when other people can do it. For as bad as the Pro Bowl was, Pat McAfee was pretty exciting on the color commentary. He was between transitions, keeping it interesting about pop culture, talking about the actual game itself for what it was worth. You're watching a 7-on-7 flag football game, but still I can't like just from him talking I was like this is a little bit more exciting. This kept me a little bit more drawn into it, so I can see how the commentator can make or break whatever you're watching.
No, he's an announcer for the WWE, man.
That's
he
true.
Knows what he's doing.
He knows exactly what he's doing. Either way, we had some other good ones. I'll quickly just stir through this one. Joe Mixon charged with whatever it was, menacing. I had to look that up. So the only thing, he pointed a gun at somebody last week.
They said it was hours before the championship game.
Whatever. I mean, what are you doing?
Like I was like, wow. I was like, what?
Good on that guy for waiting on the outcome of the game. He's like, he did point a gun at me. He did lose too.
I gotta get to the locker room, bitch.
Yeah, really. Like, in what aspect, in what world is that okay? So again, also pissed me off because I had to go learn something and learn what menacing was. So good job on that, Joe Mixon.
Yeah,
the charges were already dropped, so we can make fun of him. So that's
fine.
Yeah, exactly. He's fine. Last thing on NFL, if you had anything else, I had Julian Love. He was stirring the pot a little bit.
Yeah, hometown.
Yeah, hometown guy, local kid.
Guy talking shit on whatever the Good Morning Football.
He was around I don't know what show or what radio station he was on exactly, but I heard it through Around the Horn. The panel around a horn proceeded to roast him and say sour grapes. But
wow,
I mean, none of those people at that particular time look like they've done any sort of recreational sport in their life. So that's tough. Woody Page, as much as I love him, he's like 65 years old. He's like 70 years old. He didn't really get to participate when sports were competitive, as they say. Either way, stirring the pot in the sense that he just basically called out Nick Sirianni, saying nothing he's done is special. Anyone could have coached the Eagles. I think, again, whatever show he was on, he said the hosts. So basically saying us too, we could have been coaching the Eagles and probably got them to the playoffs. Probably even could have got them to the Super Bowl like they are.
Which is probably true.
Yeah. Even
that's not true.
Brandon Ayuk unrelatedly commented. He's kind of doubled down in that sense, saying the Eagles got lucky not having to deal with a healthy Brock Purdy. A lot of people are kind of banking on it, and maybe.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that Brandon Ayuk was just calling out the Eagles, saying that they're going to get exposed by the Chiefs. I was like, God damn, man! Someone's either really salty or something we know.
Sour grapes, salty, but it could be they could also be right. I mean, it's they haven't really been challenged, and I don't know. I said it earlier, like they didn't sit there and pick their schedule. They're like, okay, we want to be favored in every single game this year by over 5 points or more, and we'll go ahead and probably win every single one of those games. It's just one of those things. I don't know. It's tough. I'm not gonna sit here and say sour grapes or nothing like that. I kind of do agree. Like there's a lot of moving aspects on that on that team where as long as you just don't fuck up, the talent there was good enough to just coast like they did for a lot of the games where their defense locked them down. They scored just enough, didn't exhaust anything, didn't put any more stress on their guys, and just got the job done. So I guess it's extremely disrespectful to say that. To say that, boy, you don't deserve to be there. Anyone could have been there. A sack of potatoes could have been doing your job. So I think that's hilarious.
That's true.
Like an AI bot could have been doing your job. So yeah, don't turn. Yeah, these are that's been getting scary too.
I was gonna say I want to talk about that when we get
we'll do the post game. We'll do our outro topics. Usually, I know we start off with some intro shit, but we had our special guest Bill here to kick us off, and that's exactly what we wanted to do here. Either way, did you have any final thoughts concluding on just anything that Julian Love said?
No, I mean, like you were saying, he's kind of right because they have such a stacked team. I mean, anyone really could have been the coach and they probably would have been fine. But I also don't know much about football in that perspective, so I'm completely talking out of my ass.
It'd be very ignorant from us to say that anyone could be doing it. I'm gonna go ahead and just I'll tail Julian Love's if he thinks that could be done too. Then I'm like, hey, he knows.
Yeah,
more
he
than
plays
I do too.
football.
Yeah,
so,
he knows more than I do too. He's been there.
I trust him.
Absolutely. So there you go. It's just fun to fuck around like that.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
If you were good on NFL, I mean, like I said, the only other thing I think I forgot to I didn't write it down. I heard it in passing. I'll take one more prop. It'll probably be Miles Sanders under in his receiving or his receptions. I'll have to decide on that just because I've looked, the numbers were given to me. He's only caught a ball for like 3 yards the last game. He was only targeted very small these past couple weeks. So not getting receptions left and right. They got other guys that can be getting receptions, getting passes out of the backfield. I think Kenneth Gainwell is mostly their receiving back. So either way, the one I've heard, the one tip I heard was Miles Sanders under on his receiving yards or his receptions. Go ahead and lock that in if you feel that same way. So go ahead and
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders. If you were good on that, I got some NBA that we can quickly get through. We had a trade. We got some trade potential talk that we can get through. And just, like I said, talked about Aaron Rodgers. Might as well get through this and talk about LeBron James, too. We got enough shitheads on this episode today.
Oh.
But I do want to start off with a lighthearted one, a good one. Bill Russell's his number 6, will be retired among all NBA teams. He's the first number to be retired among all NBA teams. I mean, rightfully so. The guy's got 11 championships. Unfortunately, just passed away this past July. It's one of those things where, I guess somber, like I wish he would have saw it when he was alive, but he was also probably been one of those guys. If you offered it to him, he would have been like, nah, don't do that. Don't draw attention to me. So either way, I think it's still really awesome. Obviously being the first person to have all those numbers retired among everybody, every single team. That's a great honor. Obviously Jackie Robinson, that being done in the MLB, number 42 being retired among all the teams. It's a high praise, high honor. So good respect.
Yeah,
good tip of the
awesome.
cap. Yeah, I mean nothing. I mean, he already named I think the Bill Russell, the MVP is either I think the MVP trophy of the finals is named after him. Again, rightfully so. He's won it so many times, been there so many times. Either way, I mean, nothing really else that you could just keep honoring him with. So good on them. Good on the NBA. Doing some solid jobs between the trophies that they had unveiled earlier this year, paying homage to a lot of good guys like that. And just, being respectful left and right. So good on them. Anything on that really quick.
We love you, Bill.
Yeah, I can't think of everybody off the top of my head that has number 6, but I'm sure no one's going to put up a fight. No one's going to put up a fuss.
LeBron used to have number 6?
He did. I think he's number 23 now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Unless he made the switch back to 6. I don't know. I don't. As much as, like I said, we're going to talk about him, but I don't really keep up with them either way. The big one, big breaking news, flashing news was Kyrie Irving was traded to the Mavs for Dorian. Okay. I don't know if the trade details traded to Markieff Morris and picks, or if it still stayed with Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, a first rounder, and 2 second rounders.
I thought that's what it was.
I hope, again, that's what I have in my notes as of right now. That was the initial trade. So if it's done since, I think it might be locked in either way. Regardless, as we're recording right now on a Tuesday, I was told personally, I was told that he's going to fly in Wednesday and play in a game on Thursday. No, it's just something that scrolled upon during Sports Center earlier today. So coming in
he's
tomorrow,
playing already.
Yeah, they're already banking on him playing. I think at least one of these guys, maybe Spencer Dinwiddie, might already be playing for the Nets tonight against the Phoenix Suns, but I wouldn't really bank on that either way. Nets are looking really bad. Regardless, we're looking at the Mavs. I believe as of their win last night, 3 games above 500. Does this make them better? Does this make them contenders? I'm going to go ahead and just shoot that over to you. What do you think?
Well, I'm a big Luka guy. I like the Mavericks, so I was happy when I saw this. Luka him and Kyrie are going to be awesome because they're just both very good offensive players. I mean, they're going to be a great backcourt, but they just don't. I don't know. They lack the big man still. I feel like they don't have that big man that's gonna win them like the games and stuff. Like Luka, it's like the Bulls. Like Levine and DeRozan are gonna score a shitload of points every night, but we don't have like Vukovic is good, but like
he's just there.
We don't have
7-foot guy that's there.
Like Embiid, Gobert, like these players that have like Antetokounmpo, like these players that have these superstar big guys, Jokic, like. We need
Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, we can just keep naming off names that are just actual productive big men that
and those are the
teams
that have legitimate chances of winning championships.
Yeah.
Like it's sadly like the Bulls, like we don't have a chance, and like the Mavericks, Kyrie is gonna help. He's gonna thread the needle a little, but is he really gonna be that thing that's gonna push them over the goal line? Yeah. I don't know.
The West is tough. So. The West is really tough considering the Denver Nuggets are 19, 20 games above 500 as we're recording right now. It's very competitive over in the West. The East is always low. It just as of late, it's just always been lax and a little bit less in terms of talent pool, competitiveness, roster wise. So. Yeah, I mean, I'll say, I kind of agree with you. They're definitely getting better. I think adding a top tier point guard in Kyrie Irving makes your team better on the court. Maybe not the best teammate necessarily. Again, falling more in the lines of distraction. That's kind of been a theme, talking point here.
Yeah, that's one thing I was saying. I was like, what are Luka and Kyrie going to talk about? Like, hey, Luka, you think the Earth's flat? Like, I'm Luka. Like what are they going?
Yeah,
like, what are they going to talk about?
Yeah, there's that. I mean, there's a little bit of an age gap
all night.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, the talent is there. The chemistry that'll be figured out as time goes by. But I don't think that makes them automatic odds changers to become finals champions or any sort of way. That definitely very, very, very much set up for it's hard. It's tough. And even trying to think of these teams off the top of my head, but just like the Grizzlies, they're better than them. I mean, the Grizzlies are better than the Mavericks in my mind. Denver is going to be there. Just there's a bunch of tough matchups that are just in line in the way, and just I guess we just more or less saw it either way. I mean, the Nets are cooked. On the flip side, I mean, what do you do if you're Kevin Durant? I mean, someone, I think it was ESPN or whoever, NBA Network, put up possible starting lineup for the Nets, and just all the comments are just laughing, and it's like stuff. It's Steph Curry from the national anthem when Fergie was screwing it up, and he's just
that's what I was gonna say. If I was Kevin Durant, I'd be crying every night wondering why I ever left the heaven that was Golden State. Like, why? I don't know why you would leave that.
I would just constantly take pay cuts and be like, I'm just gonna continue winning. Like, I'm fine with that. Hey, Clay. Hey, Steph. You good with winning the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 championships. Yeah, that's fine with me. Between the endorsement money that'll probably make up for the amount of it and just getting paid extra money for games, just I don't know. I guess it's that ego thing, or maybe just trying to cement your own legacy. But yeah. I don't know. The narrative with Kevin Durant is always, I want to be on a winning team. That was your best pathway right there, my guy. So yeah, you kind of
It was
dropped the ball
definitely
on that.
like he wanted to prove that he could do it himself. Like, I don't need everyone. I'm just as good as them. I can win on a different team, and it definitely did not work out that way. And he was taking pay cuts originally with the Warriors. I mean, like, they all were, and no one has left the Warriors since. Like, Clay's still there, Draymond and Steph. Like, they could have still all been on
they've
that
added
team.
people. They got Andrew Wiggins. They
Yeah.
got I'm blanking on the name, but they were able to draft the number 2 overall pick a couple years ago. So it's just stuff like that. They just did, I guess, addition by subtraction or whatever. I don't know. And then still able to bring home a title.
And then they just won last year.
Yeah. So I mean, it's bonkers. I mean, again, everyone can they'll say it was a super team. All those guys besides Kevin Durant at that time were all homegrown talent. They were all drafted by the Golden State Warriors. So I love that idea of they were a super team. No, they really just added Kevin Durant.
They were, but they didn't sign. They didn't sign.
But they
those
didn't add
people.
they didn't add 3 different pieces from 3 different teams. They drafted everybody, and this was just a dynasty ready to be built. So
it was just so they got lucky with. I mean, not lucky necessarily, but everything worked out at the right time. They had the right players, and
they did their homework. They were ready to go.
Just unstoppable.
Yeah, of course, always that big what if with like teams like Minnesota who could have had Steph Curry. I think they ended up taking like Ricky Rubio instead or something like that, which is Ricky Rubio, good player, just not as good as Steph Curry. So again, I might even be mixing up the guards that they end up taking. Either way, it's always big what ifs when you do something like that.
Yeah.
Still, we're a little less than 48 hours away from the NBA trade deadline. Not really looking good for the Bulls. A lot of reports, and from what I've been gathering, no one's really looking at our top 3 guys.
They said they're not going to trade any of the core pieces. So,
and it's a mixture of they probably didn't have offers, and they want to run with this narrative of we want to keep our core net guys together, and it just they're not doing anything. None of them are doing anything together. So, I would love to get something for Vooch. Ultimately, just not have this, us giving up whatever we did and plus the draft picks for Vooch, who I mean, he's having an okay season. I just don't want to waste the money and sign him again. Don't want to exactly, just don't want to again, it could be a toss up of don't want to compound and make the trade even worse by trading him again for less or whatever, or just again we just don't get anything from it at all, which I'm never really a fan of either. But either way, between that, DeMar DeRozan not being moved either way, no talk of that. And there was some talk of Levine, but I guess that's gone by the wayside as well. So either way, I'm kind of in the same camp as you, how you said it earlier. Don't see us in playoff content, or don't see us in championship contention without a doubt. Don't really see us. We're battling for the play-in spot as of right now. I think we might be the 9 or 10 seed talking right now, but that's not good enough. As fans, we were promised way more than that. I think, unfortunately, we were promised just second round playoff implications, which even then, like, that's embarrassing to say to your fan base, like, oh, we just want to be good enough to make it to the second round, and like anything after that will be cake. Anything after that is just frosting. So no, we want a championship. We haven't been we haven't won anything since 98. Haven't been there since 2011 when Derrick Rose and them got a gentleman's sweep against the Miami Heat. So we're starving as Bulls fans for anything positive at this point. And we're looking at this core of guys, and I like the young talent for what it's worth. And Io DeSumo and Williams, I throw it back and forth of whether he's not really fully productive. I think he can have a good career when it comes down to it, but he's never going to be worth the number 4 overall pick that we got him at for. So I don't think that's just not in the cards. I haven't been a fan of Kobe White. Should have got rid of him last year or the year before. That's probably not going to happen either. So this is just, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to add anybody. They need to. We need a guard. We need a point guard for sure, because with Alex Caruso constantly being hurt and just being on the chopping block, I don't know.
And
This
no
team is in
Lonzo.
shambles. Yeah, no Lonzo for. I mean, he's done. He's essentially done. In my mind, haven't had him for a year and a half. Everyone and their mother keeps saying how this knee or this ankle keeps getting worse, and it's just I don't know. I don't really see anything positive happening in the immediate future. There's nothing that they could do trade wise that would make them just snap into being playoff contenders. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough right now. Just being in there, being a hopeful Bulls fan. So I don't know anything with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I like I was saying earlier. I mean, yeah, the Bulls are just in a rough spot right now. We just can't. Like, we can win games, but we're not going to make it anywhere far in the play when the games in the playoffs that matter. So it's just like
I hate being in this purgatory where just good enough to beat, the bad teams, not good enough to beat the good teams.
It's like, hey, you can enjoy these wins every now and then, but we're never going to actually win any real games.
And we have maybe some slight spark or chance, glimmer of hope of getting into the playoffs. And, we screw it up by getting in when we're the 8th or 7th seed, screwing up our draft choices or whatever. And then when we do get not into the playoffs, we're not good enough to get a high draft pick into the top 10 or something like that. So it's been awful. Just going the track record as of late, it's just been bad. And like I said, when we finally have that opportunity with a top 5 pick, and again, not going to say we wasted it, but as of now, just not looking like the top 5, top tier caliber playoff guy or player that we would want in Patrick Williams. So yeah, it just as of late, tough being Bulls fans, tough just watching this team just struggle. I mean, whether it's just on the court or just in the front office making decisions, honestly, just not good. And yeah, but congrats on DeMar DeRozan being named a reserve. Good on him for being the reserve all-star. I mean, it's nothing against the players. Like, they go out there and they try and do their best, but DeMar goes out there, and I heard this too, is like, I don't think we would be without DeMar and his like scoring mentality and the way that he plays the game. At this point, get rid of. I kind of flipped. I'm okay with, if we wanted to get rid of Zach, because when he's in there and he's supposed to be the guy, he puts up a bunch of shots, but he doesn't put in these 40-point, 50-point games that end up making games win and making games matter. So I'm all for getting rid of Zach LaVine. It's tough. I've been trying to be on his side and like, hey, just get rid of DeMar, who's 35, and you can get a little bit more value out of that, as opposed to the 27, 28-year-old Zach LaVine, who we could still ride with another couple more years. But he's just proven that he's just not the dog. He's just not there right now. You can flip it around. I would hate for him to finally, flip the switch when he gets onto another team, that just seems to be the Bulls' luck. But this ain't it, dog. It just ain't it. If you're good on that, I got one more thing, and it's arguably the biggest thing, but in terms of just not a lot of people are talking about it, excited about it. A lot of people are talking about it. I'll contradict myself. A lot of people are talking about it, but they're not talking about it for the sake of, oh, it's exciting, it's this, it needs to be talked about. It's just like, oh, it's there right now. And I'm talking about LeBron James about to be the all-time scoring leader. And I tweeted about this earlier on the Degenerates Network page, where you can follow us here on the Degenerates Network's YouTube page. Subscribe, like, and do that, all that fun stuff. He's gonna be the all-time scoring leader, and no one cares. Simply for the reason that they stopped playing defense 10, 20 years ago. And I got a little bit of numbers to back that up, actually. But scoring just really isn't that impressive. If you're watching, if it wasn't against the Bulls this year, I would have completely forgot that Donovan Mitchell scored 71 points this year. It doesn't stick. It makes its rounds for a day or two, and it's on First Take for an hour, and then that's it. And it's going to be complete. Yeah. Scoring is just completely passed by the wayside. The league doesn't play defense anymore. Rudy Gobert's simply just been handed the Defensive Player of the Year these past couple of years, just because he's the only one that jumps for block attempts anymore, in my mind. I guess I'll turn this into a guessing game. How many players do you think are averaging 25 or more points this year? How many?
30.
You're a good guess, a little bit less, 20, which is still crazy when you think of. I'll go back to the 1997-1998 year, last year with Jordan in his prime, scoring, winning championships and stuff like that. He was the league leader at 28.7 points per game. Only two other people had 25 or more points averaging, and that was Shaq and Karl Malone. And the next person after that was 2 points less in Mitch Richmond. So this is crazy in the sense that
Wow.
DeMar DeRozan. I mean, I gave it a little bit. If they were at 24.9, I rounded that up and gave them 25.
Yeah.
But still, 20 players between Lauri Markkanen, Pascal Siakam, DeMar DeRozan. Nothing against him, but he's not a top tier caliber guy. I'm sorry. He's at the end of the day, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good, but he's not gonna go down as all right, all time guys. I want Larry Bird. I want Michael Jordan. I want DeMar DeRozan. I want Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson, and I want Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's not gonna be the thing. So what I'm saying in that sense.
But he's definitely the best player on the Bulls.
Oh, of course, yeah. Currently, right now, yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. Like I said, I'm not trying to throw shade at DeMar DeRozan's way right now. So
yeah, I love DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah. So like I said, if you're saying, "Oh, Nick, you're cherry picking stats, you're trying to make it look better," if I really want to do that, I would have picked the 1998-1999 year, the year after, where only two players averaged 25 points or more, being Shaq and Allen Iverson. But again, I wanted Jordan to be a part of this conversation since we're talking about LeBron James. To even double down a little bit more that this isn't impressive. This is the fourth or fifth topic in the NBA that we're talking about just on this show, like I said. So this just want to throw that out there. Either way, like I said, I just don't think this is very impressive. A lot of people kind of also saying that too. I'm, at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and say LeBron isn't this and LeBron isn't clutch, LeBron isn't that. But I'm just saying that the game has changed and not for the better. In terms of just scoring points, just isn't impressive. I think it used to be a big thing, and I don't have a stat or anything to prove it where 40-point games and 50-point games were highly regarded. And you would talk about that for a week on end at some point. But I think Damian Lillard has scored 2 60-point games this year. Who cares? Who cares? That would be all the talk in 1984, but it goes by the wayside because I think LeBron's averaging 37 this year. So just no one's playing defense. No one is playing defense. It's not their fault, but it's just, I know, because of a bunch of other things, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Alex Caruso is referred to as one of the best defenders in the league. That should speak for itself.
Yeah. 100%.
No one that plays defense. Everyone should be good defenders, but it's look out for Alex Caruso. He's gonna steal the ball from us.
And I'll even
gonna actually try to play defense tonight. So everyone look out for him.
It got a little harder to play defense, and right around 2000, 2001 is when those points start to skyrocket a little bit more in terms of individual scoring points per game starts to go up a little bit more. But you also got to consider. Isn't that when the referee, the big referee scandal was going on? So points were getting added, points were getting shaven off. Just even in this aspect of if you're totally not convinced, no, Nick, the people are still playing defense. I think one night, last night, I think the Houston Rockets and the other team that they played, I think the final was 140-120. But when was the last time you saw a box score? A final score was 92-85 or something like that. What was the last time you saw? You can't. It would have to be mid 2000s when the Detroit Pistons were still putting up numbers. But
it's just so easy to score nowadays in the NBA, and
between the flopping
and
between the flopping and just it's not just field goals. People are getting to the line and going 20 for 20 on free throws. I think
you get fouled, you can get free throws for nothing.
Exactly. Nowadays. It's not that.
I swear, I'll be watching games and I see them get fouled. And I'm just genuinely what happened? It happened so fast. They show the replay and then they're shooting the free throws and I'm what? I'm what happened? why are they shooting free throws? Like the NBA is so soft in that regard for those
100%.
for those things, and they just like the high scoring games for sure. That's
I mean it's just a total just complete change in the way that the game is thought of to be like. No, I'm not going to go. In my mind, again, like who wasn't going up to like try and block Michael Jordan for a layup or a dunk? Everyone on the Detroit Pistons back in the day would fuck him up going into the paint. But it's like, oh, LeBron's going up for it. Doesn't even have to be LeBron, just anybody. John Morant's going up for a dunk. And it's just the defender's mind is, I don't want to be on Twitter. I don't want to be blasted all over NBA Live tomorrow morning. I'm not going to jump and defend. So let him have his 2 points because we're going to go shoot a 3 on the other end, and it's going to be completely negated. This idea of playing defense and locking it down, that's changed. I think the idea of scoring more points has turned into better defense. Scoring threes has become a better defense than just actually playing physical defense anymore. So again, it's hard to like say it's all completely on the players because the game has changed in the matter of, and the referees are harder on calls and flopping, and just they want to make the game more exciting with higher scores, and it makes it more appealing. And like, a 125, 124 final is better than like I just said, an 89 to 85 final. So it's tough, and you can say it every which way. I don't want to completely shit on LeBron. You know, his longevity also plays into a factor, but you know, there's also a ton of stats like, oh, he has the most clutch. Might be considered the most clutch because he has the most buzzer beaters in the playoffs, and so on and so forth. So I'm not gonna Michael Jordan completely number one in my mind. At this point, like that argument is just, why even bring that up anymore? People are just gonna be set in their ways. You're either LeBron or you're the Michael Jordan. There's just no other ifs, ands, or buts. And yeah, that's just kind of how it'd be. So I'm good on that if you are. Actually, there was one other thing I saw on him too. God forbid, he was just going, "Oh, woe was me." Some quote about, I can't walk into a Starbucks. I just can't have that normal life. Blow it out of your fucking ass, LeBron. You can buy 20 Starbuckses, make them private, and go in there by yourself and have your own cup of coffee without someone bothering you. No, that whole, oh, the glitters is not gold, and oh, I wouldn't want to. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut up.
Yeah, I saw that.
No,
I want my name written on a cup like everybody else.
No, you don't.
You want to wait
I know
in line?
you don't, because people like me still don't want that. And they're just like, oh, would I rather? It's like, oh, I have, like, it's just so disrespectful when you have everything and I guess you want nothing. Then there's people that have nothing and just want something. And it's just, it makes my head spin. It makes me upset. And I don't want to say anything that I would regret, but like, that's just so dumb to think like that, and just try and be humble and just bring someone down to that level, and just trying, like I said, trying to be maybe appease other people and try and be like the good guy or try to be face. It doesn't work like that. So don't be fooled. Don't be swindled by him saying, oh, I just want my Frappuccino and my Taco Tuesday unbothered by all these fans and everybody showering me with praise. Fuck you. That's what I got on that one. That's all I got from there. So yeah, I don't want to, I'll try and be human. There's probably somewhat in the little voice in the back of his head is like, yeah, I want to go to a flea market or I want to go to Walmart. And then they're just like, wait, I could ride a jet ski anywhere I want. I could ride a fucking plane to Paris right now. I'm LeBron James. I don't need a cup of coffee. Just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he can
ridiculous.
do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and do that. So
and
either way,
one last thing with LeBron, he should just score. He shouldn't score like a lot just so he can keep just dragging on for weeks. Like he should just get like 25 assists and like 12 rebounds like every night.
Going. He's like, LeBron, you only scored 5 points tonight. Yeah, man, it's all about the team. All about the squad,
just have people pay all
this
this money. Like, is this gonna be the game he breaks the record?
He could be doing it right
assists for LeBron tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to the last game. He just needs one. Yeah, I saw some good props like what scoring method was he gonna do it? I was probably gonna hit dunk at like plus 400 was pretty good. So that'd been pretty cool to break the record. I think free throw is the favorite right now. Just makes sense that someone's
you
gonna
can bet on anything, people.
bet on anything, and I love it. If you're good on NBA, if you're good on talking all that smack about LeBron, I got one more little thing, but honestly, we're leaning it on time a little bit, so it's okay.
Let's hit it.
Yeah, let's crack through some just in the wide range of competitive or combat sports. That was the word I was looking for. We got a little bit of MMA, not going to linger on that too much. Just the announcement of Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor going to be the new Ultimate Fighter head coaches.
Yeah.
Personally, a big fan of the Ultimate Fighter. Was one of those cool shows growing up on Spike TV where they're always bitching and moaning at each other, watching grown men cry over fighting. So that was always fun. Either way, and just in normal ultimate fighter fashion, gonna see them fight at the conclusion of the season. So get Michael Chandler versus McGregor. Hopefully he gets slimmed down and off all the steroids that he was on from.
That's gonna be so fun.
I think that's gonna be awesome. Between just if you give Conor McGregor a live mic, however many episodes that's going to linger on, probably like 10, something like that. If they're going to want to make some good TV, he's going to put some solid sound bites together for you on that. So that's just thinking about that right now. That's already exciting.
Yeah, I hope that we can get that old McGregor back and he can be getting in their faces. Like,
yeah.
I hope that it's like that.
I hope so too. Sticking with not MMA world, but still in like the boxing, the fighting world. I don't know if you saw, and I didn't really watch the interview myself, but I saw the viral clip that went around. Jake Paul and Bomani Jones having their little sit down interview.
Yeah,
on Bomani Jones' show.
He was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, dude. I mean, that was just one of you look dumb when you say that. You're on their show, like you didn't do the due diligence. One, who he is, because like just a guy like myself, I don't know, just he's been around. He's been on Dan Le Batard. He's been on Around the Horn all those years. Like he makes himself well known. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm a Bomani Jones fan by any means, but if you're gonna get into a word exchange with him, you might look like an idiot because he keeps himself composed. He doesn't yell, and he's pretty articulate. He can knock you down with just some good ones. I like that one. His immediate comeback in that thing was like, all I know about you is that people don't like you, or so whatever it was. Like you're an asshole. That's what he wanted to say, probably. But yeah. Sure enough, between the Paul brothers last week, I know you went on your Logan Paul rant last week.
Yeah.
Now we got Jake Paul talking this week. Maybe I'll check out more on that viral the interview itself. Again, I think it looked a little stupid, but it was a fair question. There's nothing that was out of bounds by Bomani Jones at all. There's nothing silly. He just was asking essentially just what if this happens? Like what if something happens, dude? It's like what are you banking on? It's just maybe you got that loser mentality. I don't have that loser mentality. Just disrespectful was Jake Paul with that response. Like, no, no, he doesn't have a loser mentality.
He doesn't have to say that. He could just said like, "I don't lose" or something.
Yeah, exactly.
He has to add the rip and the dig at him. Like you might have a loser mentality, but I don't. Like, like just a dick thing. Like you don't have to say that.
Regardless, he can sell a fight. I don't want to. It's not like I'm not sitting here waiting for this next fight, but he gets you talking about him. He gets controversial and whatnot. So either way,
we're all waiting for him to get knocked out.
Yeah, that's the whole point. We're waiting for him. And a lot of people are just saying, for as good as he is, he's beating up influencers and former UFC guys and, whatever, Nate Robinson, just guys that aren't fighters necessarily. He's beating up tomato cans. I guess he's flat-footed. He gives tells on his punches sometimes. So people that actually know what they're doing, they're not afraid. They're not like, oh man, they're not shaking in their boots, afraid to fight Jake Paul. If anything, they want it more than ever, knowing that can make or break their career as well. So either way, seems pretty cool. I mean, I'm not going to be, selling or whatever it is, probably gonna be like $50 or $60 for a fight. I'll download it illegally and watch it. So,
him and Tommy Fury should be good. He's going to fight a legitimate boxer. I mean, I think the son, I don't know if it's the son or the brother of Tyson Fury, something like that.
Younger brother, I believe, of Tyson Fury.
Tommy Fury, it's his younger brother. That's right. Yeah, he's gonna fight Tommy Fury. They've been trying to do this for a while, but it seems like it's actually gonna happen now. So hopefully, Tommy Fury fucks him up.
Yeah, I guess that's what everyone's pulling for. Last little thing in the wrestling, in the combat sports world, wrestling world. We'll finish off with this one. Wrestlelamia, if you follow that page, often I guess considered maybe a dirt sheet type page. They always throw out interviews and just other stuff like that. They reported that Vickie Guerrero was upset about the current booking / comparisons between Dominic Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. Well, turns out Vickie Guerrero never spoke to anyone at Wrestlelamia, let alone the person that actually wrote the article. She went ahead and explained in a tweet that exactly that. She didn't speak to anybody, hates the idea of getting clicks for, stuff exactly like that. Just it's controversial when it wasn't even said before. So in my mind, goes to show that, especially when it comes to the wrestling media world, no one is doing their due diligence. No one's taking the time to actually check resources. So people are just taking things at face value, which isn't good. so of these quote unquote resources, some are straight up lying to you. So take the time, do some research. Don't believe anything unless it's coming from directly from the wrestler's mouth or their Twitter account, or it was said on programming. Like I said, it kind of goes back to the CM Punk drama when everyone was guessing what he said and what was going to go on. Unless he said it, quoted it from him, it really wasn't taken anyway. So again, it's like all that stuff. It's all for clicks. So you got to be careful and who you get your information from. Anything from that? Anything jump out from it? Did you even hear about that over the week?
I did not, but that was very well. I mean, it's very well said.
Yeah. So I mean, this is
like you see, people, wrestling fans are very gullible. You could post anything and they'll immediately.
That's putting that label lightly. That we're gullible. I mean, for Christ's sake, some people probably still think that Vince McMahon is dead or something like that from one of the limousine blowing up. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's people that legit, like you can post anything and if they have
his son. Kurt Angle has his son as well. So
they'll believe it.
Stuff like that. I know. Just you take the time, literally take 4 or 5 seconds sometimes to just be like, oh, that's not real.
Like they could literally, someone could tweet like Tony Khan kills employee, and people that watch WWE would be like, "Oh my god, I'm never watching AEW again."
There was one I'll try and pull up too while we're talking, but it was literally the first thing I saw in the morning. It was about Jay White possibly being in the Royal Rumble or even signing with WWE. And I'm like, just because it looked good and it looked like what Fight TV or what one of those type of pages.
It's all the formatting.
It looked great. But when you click on the little thing that says alt, it says, do you guys really like me now? It's just like, so this guy was just like pulling a joke, pulling something stupid. I'm just, like I said, I'm just hopefully from Cody, like I said, it's just, he misspelled fightful, which should have been a clear thing there. And he was going for that. He's clearly trying to be a troll. He was not trying to be legit in any sort of way. But I mean, just Jay White has reportedly signed with WWE. And then again, my quote tweet was, just goes to show if your tweet looks professional enough, anyone will blindly follow you, as it had 14,000 views, 100 likes, and a couple of retweets. So just stuff like that. If it can actually gain a little bit of traction and trick you, just little simple stuff like that. Take 5 seconds to make sure that it's actually real. That was basically it in terms of the sports. I guess we'll enter what I'll call the outro topics, the post game. I guess when we flip it back and we do this in the beginning, I'll call this appetizers, stuff to get us started off with. But yeah, I guess we'll just breeze by a couple things and I'll get you comment on it. But we'll get a long little thing on Last of Us episode 4 for sure. Breeze by some stuff. I know you want to talk a little Grammys as well. Only thing I had music wise was a little downer, but I guess I can counter it with some good news. Ozzy Osbourne is, father, basically the Lord and Savior and the father of heavy metal as of right now. He unfortunately isn't physically able to perform in his upcoming tour. He reported in a tweet, in a long going message, I believe, just all over his social media, is that the back surgeries and everything, just the wear and tear on his body, him being as old as he is, you can't really blame him for it. Just his body is just not going to be able to maintain the road being traveling left and right and just going from all these places overseas as well. So trying to come up with alternatives for him to actually perform still, maybe getting like a Zoom type performance, but that's still pretty brutal. Maybe the band will still probably be there live, but either way, full refunds are being offered. It's heartbreaking just being a metal fan myself, and just seeing a guy like that. I've seen him in concert before, just a phenomenal performer. So he gives it his all. So it does suck, and it takes a lot out of him to like say, no, I can't do it. But it's just like, good on him. That like, if I'm not, I don't want to see him go out there in a wheelchair and sing. You don't want to see, like, you don't want to see your legends and your heroes go out like that. So good on him for just taking the time, bowing out. You're still trying to make it work in some sort of way, because he's coming off of 2 Grammy wins. He got best metal performance for Patient number 9, and then best rock album for the same album that's on. So good on him. Still rocking and putting out hits. So that's awesome. But unfortunately, like I said, not gonna be able to perform on this upcoming tour. Still looking for alternative ways, but yeah, I'm sure if anyone did, again, if you're just learning about this now, hearing about this, if you have tickets, you can get a full refund. So go ahead and hop on that. Was there any other Grammy things that you wanted to get into? I'd had nothing other than I saw the Sam Smith devil performance that everyone's bitching and moaning about because they think that Satanism has entered the chat. I guess I don't know, dude. I was in the lines of, if that really affected your day and you're still watching, award shows like that, you gotta do something better. You gotta do something better with your time. So I'm not dogging on you for watching it, actually enjoying it. But if people watched it just to hate on it, then you're just wasting your own time. So anything that stuck out to you from the Grammys, my guy?
Well, I like the Grammys every now and then because my parents, both of them, like always watch award shows growing up and stuff. So I always would enjoy watching that with them. So I guess I always just grew up enjoying those kind of shows. But so the Grammys, yeah, they were on the other day, and I was at my parents', so we were just like, yeah, we'll watch a little bit of them. But I'm old school. I feel like I'm an old person when it comes to music. Like I wish, like, I want to see like
It's
rock
getting
and
harder and
roll and
harder to name
stuff.
these artists. Is that what you're saying?
I prefer the old school instruments, all that stuff on the stage, and like it's just like now, like they said, the Sam Smith performance, like with the Unholy song, I was like, what is this? And like Lizzo and like all these are like, I don't know.
I mean,
I
want
to see like Aerosmith, like you said. I want to see Ozzy Osbourne. Like I want to see Aerosmith and shit. Like I want to see these like great band. Like, I want to see bands and stuff on stage, which they had bands, but I'm just so old school with that kind of music. I prefer that I listen to the old school music way more than I listen to any new stuff. So
kind of that's on that same thing where it's just like I don't know, you're feeling a little bit older in the same, and like I just said, you can't name or identify any of these new artists or what they all sound the same.
They did have I didn't watch the whole thing, so I want to make that clear. They did have some performance, I think, that was like they were celebrating hip hop or something. They had like it was like a 50 years of hip hop or something, and I heard that was pretty good. So I bet that was good. But like in regards to the people, like the main people that are winning like the big rewards, like Sam Smith and like Lizzo and like all those like Harry Styles and stuff, it's like I don't give a fuck about any of that.
It is what it is, and I won't like harp on anything, but it is a very much like a pat on the back type thing, because the way that these people identify and the way that they're like, oh, I'm I'm not it's nothing against them. It's nothing against their preferences, but
power
when people,
to everyone, man.
But when the celebrities and then the artists do that solely, and some people just solely feel like they're doing it just to get views, just to get listens, and it's not authentic, that they don't actually feel this way. And I'm not going to be the one to sit there and say that anyone is or isn't doing it for their sole purpose. But it gets a little much when when you're getting a little eccentric like you were, I guess, for the Sam Smith deal. I don't know. It's just in my mind, the music doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good to me. So give me Metallica, give me Slayer, which will never be on, those will never be on modern public displays like that. But That's exactly why I don't listen or watch these award shows, because that that demographic, that music that they all promote and give awards to, that's not me. That's not what I listen to. That's nothing that will happen.
Yeah,
so,
and that's understandable.
Yeah, and I do like it when guys that I do like Tyler the Creator last year or 2 years ago got a bunch of awards, rightfully so, for the albums that he just put out. I believe Flower Boy and other stuff like that. So I do like it in that regard when finally people that are talented get their due, and I'm sure that's what they all go for, is what the Grammys are. But it's tough when it gets it becomes less about the music and more about like a popularity type thing. So it's not really my cup of tea. Not really.
And that was the whole thing all night, was that Beyonce was going to break the record for getting the most Grammys ever, and they were promoting that all night. Like, Beyonce, our queen, is going to break the record. Like, and they were like
it's
she
just
was
a
late.
It's a layup. Like, she
was late for the show, and they were like, she's late. She's stuck in traffic.
Well, who cares? She's the queen.
Yeah, woo.
I mean, yeah. I'll just go ahead and go with you again. Just it's tough. Like, you're not knowing these names. You're feeling older. I always dread the day where whatever I forgot the oldie station here, when all my favorite music is gonna be like, oh, that was the drive. That was all the oldies. Now it's time for Deftones and Korn, the old style. I'm like, oh no, don't put my music on the old person network now. It's the same thing now. I feel that way with actors and actresses. I don't know anyone's name anymore. If you're not Leonardo DiCaprio or like Maya Rudolph, I don't know who you are. I mean, even I guess that's too different, in terms of talent wise. But again, just name wise, just I don't know anyone's name. Like, I had to, again, we just saw Infinity Pool. Mia Goth, like what do you do? What? Put your eyebrows back on, you fucking crazy broad.
I love her.
There you go.
I can't believe
to be fair,
keep talking shit about her.
To be fair, I didn't see her other movies, but I don't know.
I was watching Infinity Pool, like I was like, oh my god, this bitch is seducing me right now on screen. And you're like, you're after the movie, dude, you're like, no, she's got hairless. She's like, I can't look at this hairless.
It's like a Persian cat. Like, no, dude. Like, that's not
what they were trying to portray.
Okay, we'll just get an Infinity Pool. Spoilers ahead and whatever. I guess we'll just quickly go over it about a author, right? Trying to write a book, hasn't wrote a book in 6 odd years, they named the place multiple times, but I'm just going to call it Parts Unknown because we're wrestling fans.
I don't remember where it was.
They said it multiple times. So, went ahead and they meet up with a woman at the resort. She's a big fan, apparently. Says, hey, come meet up with me and my husband. We're going to go outside the resort, which they can't do. Again, the wife at the time, who was much whatever, girlfriend's gonna see this, much hotter than the broad with no fucking eyebrows, which is bonkers that you would think that you're just gonna think that this broad looks amazing, and just the idea that you would pass for her, whoever plays M, just gorgeous, and you're gonna go for hairless cat lady over here. Fine with me, just because she jerked you off in a field or whatever. That, again, spoilers ahead. If you're fine,
that's a spoiler.
That's what you're into. Go. That's feel free, but I mean, that's just crazy to me. But it also feeds in because whatever. There's ongoing things, a feeling of like, but not betrayal, but like the relationship is not as good as it used to be. It's just all off of her wanting to be opposing her father. There's a bunch of other side shit, again, like her father's a producer for books and stuff, a publicist. He's a writer. That was the father's big thing. Don't marry a writer, and that was the first thing she did. So tension rises and gains throughout that. I'm more or less just getting a bunch of the glitter stuff. Again, getting to the main point of, they get outside the resort. A bunch of stuff happens. They go home. He hits a local, and then apparently the local rules is you need to be killed by honor of the family. You need to die, because they just play old school like that. Again, we're in Parts Unknown. We don't know what country this is. They say it a bunch of times. But yeah. due to his money, because he's so wealthy, and that's just a thing that they are able to do in this country. You can make a body double in this thing. So through a crazy, which was one of my favorite scenes, where they're just getting him undone, they're measuring him, and then the lady just goes like this, and he goes into. That was her only line. That was her only line in the movie. Like this. And she said it like that. I was howling laughing in the theater. There was just multiple times where it was just completely it was one of those movies where a bunch of crazy things outside the box happens and you shouldn't be laughing, but
we would be laughing and no one else in the theater was laughing.
Yeah.
And like I would be like, is anyone else gonna laugh? I don't understand.
Yeah. And it was more of those things again. Yeah, in my mind, if you went in there and you didn't take it seriously, like you didn't think this was so artsy fartsy, like it was probably gonna blow it off like it should be, then you could still have fun with this movie. You were throwing this around. This was NC-17. There were tons of scenes that were still considered out there and pretty crazy, but I can see probably where they drew it back.
Yeah, if you saw this movie and like it was,
don't see it with your parents.
Like, yeah, that's for certain. But if you saw it, it was worse than like it was rated a worse rating than it was now. So there was even more stuff that they didn't have in the movie, which I can't even imagine what it is, and I'm not gonna go looking for it. But
no, just do that in your spare time. Just I guess words you can throw out there, just orgy scenes and just blatant frontal nudity, full on just this.
Yeah, there's a 5-minute orgy scene where I was literally like my jaw. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it was almost like that the sausage party where everything, just slamming together, and the buns and the hot dogs and the mustard and the ketchup.
And again, like me and you were laughing, and our
we were laughing at this because it's just so
laughing.
bonkers.
I was like, "This is so ridiculous."
And it's just like the idea of like what we're seeing is ridiculous, and the idea in my mind was like someone saw this or put this together and was like, they're either gonna think this is really artsy, like wow, they took risks on this one, or they're just like, I just want to put together a porn and see if I can trick somebody. And I think that was kind of more or less what I was laughing at throughout the entire thing. So the storyline, it's interesting. I like the idea of it, of like, you get in trouble and you have this endless, basically just the title, you have this infinity pool. It's a multiple amount of chances, almost like a video game of you can get double copied and pay. As long as you keep paying, you can just keep getting out of just doing reckless, mindless shit and essentially killing people and just getting away with it. So it was pretty cool. It could have been executed in different ways, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I liked the idea of it was really interesting. I liked it for what it's worth. Similar to what you said with other YouTube reviewers, I'm not going to be jumping at the bit to watch this one again. But if someone said, "Yeah, I've never seen this before," I'd be like, "Watch it, give it a chance, see what's up," just to see what the reaction was.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that even slander for Mia Goth, but I'll say that she has a great performance in this, and like
she
does great at like making you feel like she's just a nice person. You're like, oh, like so nice to meet. Like she just wants, like she like pretends like she read his book and stuff, and is like, like all this nice and like let's go out and stuff, and then like. I don't know if this is spoiler warning. We're like near the end.
I would blatantly. I'll be putting that.
Okay.
So near the end. Feel free. Let it all out. Whatever you want to say about this, feel free.
Yeah, like she just obviously starts to get like insane near the end because he doesn't like the lifestyle anymore. He realizes that this is insane. Like there's a point where they take one of his clones, the writer, and they like put a bag over his head and dress him up like he's like a military guy.
Unbeknownst to I'm gonna butcher the name, but whatever his
name is, but his name is Alexander Skarsgård. I don't know what his character's name was, but so then there's the clone of him is tied up, and then they have him like beating him up, and like they're pissing on him and shit, and like and they take the bag off, and he realizes, and he's just like so like this is
he's disgusted
up.
and everything. Just like there was a lot of twists and turns, and I mean, just going,
and he tries to run, and then they find like Mia Goth is just insane at this point, and she's just like still pretending to be happy, but like she just does a great job at being insane. Like I saw right after this movie, I watched X and Pearl,
Yeah,
because that's also two movies that she was very well known for, I guess, and those were also very good. So I mean,
yeah.
she's
I don't want to dog on her and anything like that. It just I didn't like the idea of you're gonna go for, she's just in my mind comparatively less attractive than the other. So
that's the only
that's
thing that
crazy.
you're harping
That's
on.
the only thing in terms
Okay.
of like she did her job of she was supposed to be annoying and she was boom hit it right in the head. She did a great job in terms of her acting. I had nothing on that, But to sit there in my mind when I got in the writer's mind, I'm like, you're gonna do that? What you what? What? I just okay. So just in that, and I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit more. I like the sudden realization of him just like when he does witness his own death for the first time, his body doubles death, he smiles and he's like, oh shit, that was the trigger of like, here it is, boom, this is the ticket. I can do whatever I want now, or something like that, or boom, this is the ticket to a new book or whatever it was, whatever his goal was. I like that this movie just it left a lot of interpretation, which is what good stories like to do. So it left a lot of things like that. Like I said, we can bounce ideas off of whether what he was thinking about or what he thought in that sort of aspect of, or what exactly was what I thought it was actually going to be like. It's sort of what they bring up too is like, oh, did you think you were yourself? How do you know that you were you?
Yeah.
Which they bring up in there. And I thought they would have maybe made a bigger deal of like focusing in on his eyes. I thought they doing the not just like I guess a artistic shot of their face and their eyes. I thought that would may have been a thing to pay attention to see if he's still himself. I think M also makes some sort of comment about his eyes as well. Again, that's just me throwing that out there. I'm sure somebody else may have commented on it as well, whether or not that was actually, the idea of whether or not he was actually him at the end of the film or something like that, or whether he killed his original self and he's one of the body doubles, which is what some of them like to throw out there. So between that, I thought that was interesting and intriguing. As much as I keep not hating on it, just like it's weird and just interesting with the imagery. So again, it's not like it's not gonna be like first ballot, like, oh, let's watch Pulp Fiction and then let's watch Infinity Pool. It's like, no, well, it's like, oh, you want a weird one? Watch Infinity Pool, dude. So,
yeah, it's like a movie night where everyone bring your favorite best movie you got, and like, yeah, I got Infinity Pool.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of those
what?
I like Tusk. A lot of people hate the movie Tusk. I think I like Tusk for
that movie's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
if you've never seen Tusk, we'll just
yeah, go. Yeah, I mean that one.
I don't even.
On it, but I like it for all sorts of reasons. Just because it's a mind fuck, and that's again, if you can just have fun with it and not just shit on every single movie that you see. Just, I mean, go out and go for it. So whether or not you like that or not,
and that's when you watch a movie. Yeah. I always hate that. Like, you have to turn that off in your head. Like, I always hate when people harp on every little thing in a movie, like that wouldn't happen, that couldn't actually happen, like that's it brought me out of the movie because it's not possible. It's like it's a movie. It's the whole point. You're supposed to, it's fictional. You're supposed to just sit back.
There's definitely things that are just egregious, but then like in certain films, of course. But that's just, you got to go movie by movie, and just you need to know what you're getting into as soon as you're like watching it. So it's you just got to go in there with a mindset of like, hey, let me go in there, blank slate, don't do nothing. And that's exactly what we did. We watched like one or two trailers on it, kept it very vague, and didn't do anything crazy.
Yeah, and that's one I was gonna start to say. Yeah, that's a great way of watching a movie. We knew like nothing about this movie at all. We went into it like completely blind.
That's how I do with Barbarian too. I loved doing that with Barbarian. I didn't know anything besides the really vague trailer that they throw up there, and I ended up liking it. Again, mixed reviews. Some people were like, it's crazy and ridiculous, and it got corny towards the end or whatever. But all around, I thought it was fun. I thought it was good. Again, the first time I watched it in theaters, I was like, what? That was weird. But I watched it again when it came out on HBO Max, and I was like, yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, and I'm sure for like you said, for every movie that I was like, or just for every movie that anyone was like, that's not real, that's not this, I'm just out of it, I'm checked out of it just solely because of that. maybe they're having a bad day, or they just this, that, and the other. Just again, you got to go in like this is supposed to be playful and stupid. Am I willing to watch? Do I want to watch a serious movie right now, or do I want to be playful? So you gotta be in your own mindset. Don't harp on it just because somebody else made something and this, that, and the other.
Also, just quick thing about Infinity Pool, I like the ending because
Oh,
they have
yeah.
the ending is just like everyone just goes back to their normal lives, and I was like, that's just
exactly,
so.
yeah.
I was like,
Such a
that's
good
just.
point.
I bet it's so real because like, not to the extent of the movie where people are making clones of themselves, but there's those rich ass people out there that go on these trips and do this extravagant illegal shit. And then just go back to their normal lives with no repercussions, like the Jeffrey Epstein Island and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
I was
when
like,
it's just business as usual. That was exactly that. That was a very good point that we were talking about at the end of the movie too. Just the shock on his face when he's realizing exactly what you just said. Just these guys are just. It's going to be Tuesday for Cindy tomorrow. It's going to be like exactly that. They're having a conversation like, oh, what are you going to do when you get back to LA? Oh, gotta get the kids back to school. Got to make sure this, that, and the other. And he's just sitting there like, you just watched me bash my own face in with my own fists. Are you not like traumatized? And then, yeah, of course, like I guess, again, up to interpretation of what he's going to do or what he does. He doesn't leave. He doesn't leave the airport. He goes back to the resort. And that's where the end credits come up. So, and again, we were sitting there. I even looked it up. There's no end credit scene. So as soon as the credits come up, yeah, you're feel free to just get up and leave, whether or not you're pissed or you're happy or a little
and
bit in between.
my buddy had a good take. Well, Albion had a good take on the ending, which I was like, it's a good idea. But he was saying, what if the clone, like, was the one that went with them to the airport?
Oh,
and like he actually ended up staying back at the
oh, that
resort.
is a good point. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, that's all. I didn't even think about that.
I was
Yeah.
like, that would be pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, somehow he got in yeah, there was all a bunch of ways he was like,
And like that's why the clone, like that's why he was looking so confused because he was just like, what is going on? Like, where am I? Like, what is this?
Yeah. That's actually pretty cool. See, again, just like a bunch of things like that where I didn't think about it that way, but that's just as plausible as what I just said 4 minutes ago. So I mean, again, I'm kind of pulling around more on this Infinity Pool movie. Just when I started off with like, hey, you don't need to see it. Now I'm kind of like,
yeah, now we're starting to talk about it. And
yeah,
actually, I'm like, fuck.
This is spellbind.
Besides watching a guy get jerked off for like 2 minutes straight and showing him ejaculate,
that was when hearing
everything else is fine.
I was like, oh my god.
And like you don't need to show us it fall on the rock. Like there's a point where you need to cut it off.
Oh shit. Oh god. Yeah, we were that was good. Yeah, we were on Infinity Pool for a minute there. So either way,
yeah, and I loved your girlfriend right after the movie. Great movie, Mike.
Yeah,
great pick. I had no idea.
Yeah, to be fair, it was all three. It was a good like even mixture of all three of us being like, yeah, we want to go see this movie. We all consent to seeing this movie. We all want to go see it. So for the sake of me not getting all of it, I did blame you as well. So so thanks for taking the fall on that one, Jim. I appreciate it. Yeah. We'll get really quick and we'll finish off with The Last of Us. I got just one more quick thing that I want to get your thoughts on. I got some other things, but for the sake of time, let's just blow through it. E3, E3 is the big video game event. I used to be on like G4 like that, a big like 1, 2, 3 day type deal. They won't be featuring PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo games. I guess they're just going all indies right now. So I really just wanted to maybe get your insight on it. If you've taken anything about learned anything about it that I haven't, or just you're just hearing this for the first time, just get your thoughts overall on it. Just E3, like I said, one of those bigger things where they just show all the video games, what's upcoming, what's going to be the big exclusives coming out for all these big things. Big three ain't going to be there: Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation. Thoughts on that, Jim?
Yeah, I did see that, and I didn't read too much into it, but I was upset because it's like, I mean, I always wanted to go to E3 because it's like it seems so cool seeing all the displays and all your favorite consoles and like you see all their new games and shit. But it's like there's no PlayStation or no Xbox or no Nintendo. There's literally no point. I don't see any point to go. I'm like, that's the three things I would want to go for.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think they had the video game awards, and that's where they really showed and displayed all the big things that are coming out for all the big consoles and everything like that. I mean, just between shows like that, I mean, Comic-Con, that's more for a bunch of other things, but I mean, I feel like they still get exclusives and drops like that. So events like that, I guess, are gonna not fall by the wayside, but I guess just not be involved with these big hitters. I know C2E2 in Chicago, that's one of their big comic expos that they usually have. They don't really have like a a display like that for the big companies necessarily, because they're just more or less about everything. But just I guess they're just maybe gonna do an exclusive thing, maybe just with the video game awards. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, just kind of like you said, that's one of those bigger things. I think they have it out in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
it's E3. Just one of the bigger video game events, and I guess it could be very disappointing for a guy like you who you're wrapped up in the video games. That's very much what you're interested in. So yeah, just hearing the big guys, hearing the big hitters, not going to be there. Still big potential for. I mean, just the indie. I don't know any indie developers off the top of my head, but just it could be a big opportunity for people like that to take advantage of exactly just all the time and everything that would have been set up for PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo. It's all for you guys now. So take the floor, make us interested, and get us popping on some of these new underdeveloped and indie games or something like that. So I think that's so for every whatever the window of opportunity for them left, but the door open for other guys. So there you go. Last little thing, and we'll just keep it not brief, just we'll keep it a little tighter. Just we're getting deep on this recording, getting a little late, but either way, we had a lot of Super Bowl to get into, a lot of fun stuff. Either way, we're only here once a week. We're only with you one time a week.
Yeah,
we're like your bad stepkids or whatever. So you only give visitation rights every week. I'm sorry, a little dark on that one. We'll get, I guess, but it kind of makes sense considering The Last of Us. He's a dad. He's bad transition, but we'll go ahead and do that into there anyways. Episode 4 dropped, and for those who don't know, it usually drops on Sundays. They're switching to Fridays. They don't want to compete with the Super Bowl. Smart, but viewership up like 60% from whatever the reports I saw, up another 7.5 million people in terms of whatever they were doing. They were even going head to head with the Grammys last Sunday. So good on them. Last of Us, even this last episode 4, the shortest of the 45 minutes compared to the 2 hour and a half and hour long episodes that are currently up there, but still packed still impactful things that went on in there. I mean, we can go over the highlights of some of the main things of you learn more about Joel's brother as of right now, of what he did or what he's going to do, or what his plan was when he goes out to Wyoming. Still pretty, again, just cool that like how you're kind of like learning a little bit through Ellie's eyes, being like it's so locked up in the quarantine zone, and like you lived your normal life, so all these normal things like cars and streets, roads, highways, and she's like seeing this all for the first time in real life. So it's like funny and cool and witty, and then like she got the joke book and all that stuff. So the character arcs right now are going pretty well. Again, from my understanding, this episode veered off even a little bit more from the video game, because this upcoming people, this big group of, I guess we'll also just fall into it. The ongoing trope and zombie things of, it's not just zombies that you got to worry about. It's people. Those are your worst enemy when you're dealing with this dystopian type, futuristic hell world or something like that. You don't want to run into other people. So, I guess some people want to say it's a tired trope, depending on how you want to interpret it. But this seems pretty cool. This Kathleen being the leader of this group of, whatever it is, just people that uprose and took this quarantine zone back from whoever it may be. I think they said they're in Kansas City right now from the part. So that's so they're halfway through. They're midway on their way to Wyoming. Let me see. I'm trying to just get through. Like I said, you're only exposed to her the same way that we are. You meet her. She's kind of brash and she's a little mean and whatever. Having a gun to some guy's head right away. Kind of not blindly following, but you don't know how she's gained this turn, like rise to power. You don't know why she's the authority figure. So in my mind, I was already like, well, why like just gonna blind like okay, like I guess blindly. I mean, that's not a drawback, but in my mind, it's like we don't know just yet why she's here or whatever. We got I guess another like cliffhanger type thing where we don't really know the context just yet. They go into the room where the concrete starts jumbling around and like fuck, close the door. And she's like, seal off the room, do this, do that. So they're making this interesting for again, like I didn't play the game, you did. You know that these characters aren't really a big thing. They're just a one-off obstacle, and then that's really it. So
well, yeah, and that's the best part about the show is they're able to dig more into these things and give more life to these characters that barely were in the game.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's like this is just one part of the game, and these characters you barely acknowledged it, but now you actually can see like they can show you like their backstory, like how they took over this town, like what they're doing. Like it's cool. Like you see people in the game, like they just show in like brief moments, like people driving around just like killing everybody in the town, and like they have like a complete backstory for that in this episode, like because of all of, like they're looking for the people, and they're like she was like kill everyone, like she was like don't like
because
right at the end.
We're looking for Henry, is that the person?
Henry,
and we're just like who's Henry, like we don't know, you got to keep watching.
Yeah, that's something funny for me too is it's like for people that don't play the game, like this was a very like you were saying, like informational, impactful episode. But it's like for me, I'm like, I already know all of this shit. Like I'm sitting there like with my parents and my brother watching it, and I was like, I know all of this stuff.
So for you, this was a filler episode. This was like a get right storyline wise episode, I guess the fly episode.
That's why it's cool for me to hear you say that, like because for you, like you've never played, so you don't know that, like you don't know that stuff about his brother, or like that's like you don't know like that, like you're able to those little things with like Ellie's never grown up in like a real world and stuff, like
exactly
cool like you're actually able to recognize those things as if you're playing the game. I mean, it's just, I mean, that's why it shows how good this show is. I mean, they do a great
they're
job.
killing it. They're getting, like I said, the uptick in viewership. I mean, still, besides the obviously the ignorant people that they're gonna bash on the episode and give it bad ratings just to be trolls and whatever. But I mean, everyone that actually genuinely watched it, from comedians to people that really just watch these shows and review it for their YouTube livelihood, they cried, they loved it, they said it was just a beautiful love story from left to right. So I mean, it's exactly that. The Last of Us is just killing it, and I love that. Pablo Pasquale's on SNL, not a huge SNL guy, but he looked like he killed it on there. Between he's just all around awesome. And just
I'm not a Saturday Night Live. I mean, I am a Saturday Night Live guy back in the day,
like a stan. Like people are like still like, oh man, don't call me. It's Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
dude. Like
basically, I never watched Saturday Night Live, but I did watch it Saturday because Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, exactly. There's people that will just blindly watch it when it's like, and when it's like that, when it's kind of what we were saying earlier. We don't even know the actor's names. Like, oh, from Dune. They're like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. With the musical performance you've never heard of. And she's like, oh, yay, great.
Yeah, and that's why the Saturday Night Live was cool, because they had Pedro Pascal and they had Coldplay on.
Yeah.
I was like,
you can just be like my dad. You do what he does. He records it and he's like, I just want to watch Weekly Update and the monologue and to get over like that. That's awesome. Get Saturday Night Live done in 25 minutes.
Nowadays, you don't even need to record it.
That's true. Everything goes
on YouTube and
that's my dad. He's 60 years old. He's not. That's not gonna. No. It's bad enough. I'm glad the White Sox they gave up with their schedule. None of their games are on Peacock, so I don't have to teach them that this year. Good. So that's again, thank you. Don't have to do that. Luckily, they're still on TV. So either way.
Also, a quick fun fact about the last episode in The Last of Us: the guy with the big white beard with the white hair and stuff. That's kind of like the person of Kathleen or whatever her name.
Yeah, the guy with the army experience, the guy with the gun.
So that guy is actually, he voices Tommy in the video game.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because in one of the inside the Last of Us episode, he did say that. I just wanted to know what character he ended up doing in the game.
So yeah, he's Joel's brother in the game.
Oh, okay.
So he's Pedro Pascal's brother in the game, which is cool.
That's crazy. That's
when awesome. He was talking, I was like, wow, he's Tommy. He's Tommy. It sounds just like him.
Yeah.
So that's just a little cool thing. They actually have like 3 or 4 people that voice characters in the game, and they're all playing like people in the show.
And we already met the leader of the Fireflies,
Marlene. Yeah,
Marlene.
she's
She
cool
plays
because
herself.
she actually voiced Marlene in the game too. So it's cool
Yeah.
that she's literally playing Marlene. And like again, I was saying like people were talking shit like bad casting.
Yeah.
Like it's literally Marlene. I
like that.
Be
Yeah,
better.
you showed me some video. She's like, yeah, dude, 5 out of 10 for this voicing. It's like you were like, it's literally her. It's her.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing? You're just completely overanalyzing it. You're not doing it in a troll way. So it's just like, what are we talking about here? Either way, The Last of Us, and of course, ends pretty exciting. Let me see. They're able to get away from this big group that's now searching around the town, thinking that Henry is there, thinking that Henry is about, when it's just it's outsiders. It's Joel and Ellie. It's who we know. Also, kind of blew over it, but Ellie shoots somebody. Joel is down on the ground. She has to experience not killing him necessarily, but hurting him as Joel was going on in the episode. But she went on and explained that Ellie's like, it's not the first time I've had to do this or something like that. So it's again kind of like it's fun that we're watching this building of a relationship, somewhat of it's kind of like how we said, she's cargo. It's nothing. She's nothing more than that, but they're still kind of trying to break the ice still a little bit. She's cracking jokes. He's cracking them back, and everything's, finally, as you think we're off to a sound sleep, we're woken up to a gun in our face, and that's how the episode ends. So
yeah, shout out Joel putting down all that broken glass, and it was completely useless.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, again, we'll have to see how these two people who I guess as of now they have them captured or just at gunpoint. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know how they maneuver throughout the building. I'm guessing they probably have some sort of tunnel system going from room to room that we don't know about just yet. So I mean, that's just me throwing out predictions that probably
and I can't say anything.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know what they're going to do. So
okay. Yeah.
But so, once they do it and once it's done, then I can say it. I have the game experience.
I appreciate that. You playing the game. You're trying to just not ruin it for me at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going.
They've been pretty straight. Like they've been pretty close to the material with the game and the show. So I don't want to spoil anything, and it could probably spoil the show. So I'm not going to say anything.
Fair enough. I appreciate that. Yeah, and you know what? If you got nothing else on The Last of Us, nothing else on really anything else, I had a couple more stories, but maybe we'll just bleed over to the next episode.
Yeah,
either way,
this was a long one. I think
this was a big one. This was a long one. This was a Super Bowl episode. So thank you for joining us in episode number 5 in the books, episode number 5 of No Substitute for Sports. Thank you as always. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Alan, for taking your notes. We always shout out the boys. Yeah, like I said, love the numbers. Thank you everybody for sharing it around on between Facebook and just when I post it on there, throwing it up on Twitter and stuff like that. Just love seeing that. Love the retweets, the share button, everything. That's really appreciated. And just like I said, taking the step forward, I went ahead and took a little tour of the Illinois Media Broadcasting School. I'm going to be going ahead and taking the next step. I'm going to be going ahead and applying and getting all that figured out. So talking to a financial aid officer and all that fun jazz, getting all the all the T's and the I's crossed and all that stuff and dotted. We'll figure that out. I'll be getting that journey started off. And I don't know, between I did just rearrange everything to make it look cool, but it does look pretty cool. And they're offering that I could record over there. So
wow.
I know, just all the resources that are available over there. Great. But again, I don't want to jump ahead into that. Either way, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing around. Love all the love, sharing all that stuff. Watch the Super Bowl, and hopefully our predictions are correct. bit.ly/no-sub-bets. If you want to go ahead and do that for Bet Rivers, go ahead and do that. 1-800-GAMBLER. This is going to be a crazy gambling weekend. And besides that, take care of yourself and each other. We love you. See ya next week.
Pack.
What? They're not playing? What?